Monster Integration by N1. Chapter 401 Hot-Blooded 2. You guys watch well and also record on your HoloWatch for the future references, I said as I started to perform body cleansing technique at a very slow speed so they could watch my every move. I am a little tired, but I did not feel anything as I performed the first few moves of the body cleansing technique. With constant practice my muscles have become flexible enough that the strain that the body cleansing technique put did not affect me much. I performed one pose after another with perfect smoothness and clarity. There is no rigidness in my movements despite I am being slow, instead they would feel little rhythmic. I have once recorded myself performing the technique and saw that the first 10 moves I performed feel rhythmic. After that the technique started to put little strain on me, which made movement a little rigid. After reaching 7th pose I started to feel little strain due to my tiredness, but it's not that much. I continue performing it, and the higher I go the more strain I started to feel. Just as I start performing the 8th move I started to sweat and I had to cover my body with the light layer of sun fire so it would vaporize before it could come out. Normal I do not cover my body with sun fire to vaporize the sweat. Doing that would be idiotic as one needs to give his 100% both mentally and physically. Using rule power to burn off sweat is a very useless thing to do, and the reason I am doing such a useless thing because I am only performing 12 poses, and for that, I won't be under much strain to divert my energy burn off the sweat. I could feel the sharp gazes of Sophia and Reina on me, and truth to be told, I felt a little uncomfortable. I have never been under such intense gaze before. Even in the competition of the West Blood City where millions were staring down on me didn't feel this uncomfortable I am feeling right now. Despite being fully clothed, I feel like I am completely naked in front of them. Michael didn't know that both sisters using a special method to watch him, and with this method he is nearly naked before their eyes. I kept performing the poses and soon finished doing the 10th pose, and now only 2 are remaining, but they are hardest as even in my peak I would feel little strain after the 10th pose, much less now when I am tired. Still, I kept performing without shaking a bit. My muscles move on their own after having the habit of doing these same routine thousands of times. Doing them became so natural that I can do the first 10 poses with my eyes closed. After finishing 11th pose I started performing the 12th pose. At the 12th pose one will go through minor cleansing, and I hope these sisters would reach this pose in 10 days, so they will have 20 other days to reach the second cleansing that will give them quite a big boost. They both have energy and will to perform compared to me, who was just at corporal stage when I got through my first minor cleansing. Compared to me, not only they also created 2 amethyst seals of supreme combat exercise, which I am sure of, they also have peak master stage power, which is powered with mana transmutation crystal. So, as long as they have the will to push themselves higher, they will able to reach second cleansing within a month, which will hugely improve their battle power and also give a chance to clear the guild challenge for which we all are going for. I exhale with tiredness as I finished performing the 12th pose of the body cleansing exercise. If not for forcefully controlling myself I would have started shaking due to tiredness. Did you guys memorize this? I asked as I tiredly sat on the sofa in the corner of the living room. Yes, we memorize it and recorded it also, replied Sophia. How many days did it take you to reach first cleansing? Asked Reina with her soft melodic voice. 6 days, I replied truthfully. The first 12 poses are rather easy, but what comes after is very hard. And for second cleansing? Reina asked again. 3 months. I replied truthfully again. That long? Sophia screamed, shouted, clearly very surprised hearing my answer, as there is a large difference between 6 days and 3 months. Shaking my head, I elaborated on the reason. There is a lot of reasons why it took me 3 months. As you guys know, there is a lot of energy that needed to perform body cleaning exercise, and when I am performing it I am just an initial level of sergeant stage and had only 2 amethyst seals to support body cleansing exercise. But you guys are different. You guys not only have 2 amethyst seals but also a peak master stage, so as long as you guys willing to push yourself harder you can definitely reach second cleansing within this month, I said, hearing that they both nodded in understanding. Do you have any questions before you start performing? I asked. Yes, do we practice slowly like you? Asked Reina. I shook my and replied, speed didn't matter, you can either perform it fast or perform it slow, whatever suits you best. I said with a straight face. No matter what speed you want to perform, after a couple of poses you both are going to perform slowly anyways, I thought and laugh inside. Any other tips that you want to give us? Asked Reina again. Try to circulate supreme combat exercise when you are performing body cleansing exercise, it will help you go further in both. I answered. What? You are not joking, right? Asked Sophia in voice. From her thinking, the body cleansing technique is already hard, and top of that if one were to circulate supreme combat exercise, then wouldn't it become extremely difficult, nor she properly performs body cleansing exercise neither she will able to circulate supreme combat exercise. It will be the case of trying to do two things at once but succeeding in none. It worked for me very well. You guys try it. If it worked for you then it's good, if not then you can stop circulating supreme combat exercise and wholly focused on the body cleansing technique. I said. Okay, we will try your idea first, if it worked then we will continue using it, if it didn't then we leave it, said Sophia. Both sisters walked to the empty space in the living room and started to do stretches to relax their bodies. I wanted to tell them there is no need to stretch before performing body cleansing exercise, but I didn't, as I am enjoying the view too much and couldn't wait for them start performing body cleansing exercise so I can openly watch their beautiful and hot bodies without being sneaky. After doing enough stretches, both sisters created little more distance between them and started to perform body cleansing exercise. Chapter 402 Hot-Blooded 3. They both started to perform the technique and I looked at them openly without feeling any shame. I have to say both of the sisters are very hot, with their muscles toned to perfection. Not an ounce of fat could be seen on their faces, and one could not forget their God-given assets that move with their every move. The sister really has God-given bodies, as each move they make feels exotic and their movements are rhythmic that one wouldn't able to tell that this is their first time doing body cleansing exercise. While I am very much enjoying the view, I am also carefully observing every pose they performed. The first two poses they performed with a relative ease, it's like they didn't feel any strain at all, but when they started to perform the third pose, they started to feel the strain from every part of their body. The first time is going to be difficult for them as they have never performed the supreme combat technique and their muscles are quite rigid. They will need one whole session of supreme combat exercise free them, so when they perform body combat technique they will not this level of tension in their muscles. After completing third pose, they started on the fourth pose, and when they were performing it, I could clearly see beads of sweat running down on their bodies. It felt strangely hypnotic. The sweat quickly wet the tight clothes they were wearing, which started to show the clear outline of the parts of which they were wearing they have covered with the cloths. With their clothes wet, I could see the perfect outline of their bodies, and this making me excited and my heart started to beat in an uncontrollable manner. Shame on me. I am obscenely ogling my friends. This tense environment in the grim battlefield is really making sick and frustrated. No wonder there is so many adventure paradise sanctioned in the outpost. When I first time I come to know the number of brothels this outpost has, I was quite shocked and didn't understand why the outpost needs so many brothels, but now I understood the reason. In this intense warlike environment, people need something to release the stress, frustration, and other emotions they are feeling. There are many things that can help one release the stress depending on one's personality, but sex is undoubtedly one of the best options. Looks like I have to break the rule of not having a girlfriend in grim battlefight or find some way to release the stress and frustration I am feeling due to daily fighting. I can be fine for a month or two, but if tension and frustration keep building inside me and I kept it bottled up, it will explode without warning. I will have to find some way to release after I am done with this Ephorian ruin business, I thought. When I come out of my thinking, I found that the sisters have already finished performing the sixth pose and cloths became so wet that this time I didn't have to use my imagination to look what underneath it, as it is showing very clearly. With the seventh move, their movements aren't pronounced and smooth as they used to be, a rigidity clearly seen in their moves. They are clearly using quite a bit of energy to perform the seventh move, and their movements also became quite slow compared to the sixth pose. They kept performing th exercise while my eyes constantly roam on their bodies unknowingly. I many times wanted to stop, but I wasn't able to no matter how much I try. They finished seventh, eighth pose and finally started on the ninth. The ninth pose seems to take awfully lot time. Their movements are like a snail and clear shaking could be seen as they perform. I had expected them to reach the ninth move, let's see if they are able to go above it not. If they are not able to go above the 9th pose, then they will need a year or more to reach the 12th move and get first minor cleansing, but if they are able to go above the 9th move today, then it will take them just 3 to 4 days for them to reach the first cleansing. They kept persisting, even with shaking bodies they kept persisting, and finally, they are able to reach the 10th pose at the same time and started performing it with their very shaking bodies. I have to give it to their persistence. They are really able to reach the 10th pose in the single time, which even I wasn't able to do it. Though there are many factors involved like their power and everything, it is still commendable for them to reach one off pose at a single time. As going further than this, I don't think they will able to do, as they have already reached their limit. Thud. Thud. A few minutes later both of the sisters fell on the ground one after another. Their eyes are open, but they looked completely lifeless, like a dead fish that is washed up in the shore. Sophia, you finished so early. I thought you would go through the first cleansing before going down, I said as I poked her shoulder with my finger. I could see in eyes that she wanted to say something, but she didn't have the energy to do so. What, do you want to say something? I said, and again poked her shoulder in fun. This immobility must be torturous for Sophia, who likes to talk a lot and always move around very much. Are you angry at me, Sophia? I asked while poking her. My repeated poking seemed to have got her irritated and angry, but in her current condition, she could not twitch her fingers, much less moves her lips to speak, which she desperately wanted to do so. After I have my little fun with Sophia, I left the two sisters be. They will recover enough walk after little more than an hour. Time passed by, and after 20 minutes passed, the sisters were able to twitch their fingers, and again half an hour they gained the ability to move their limbs slowly. That is when Sophie moved her neck toward me and mumbled something which I wasn't able to hear it but understood the meaning of it. If she had been her usual self, she would leap at me like a ferocious kitty. Thank God she barely has any energy now, otherwise I would have had to run away from my own apartment in her fear. Seeing that they are able to move their limbs a little, I went to the bathroom and prepared the tub for them in case they wanted to soak into warm water. Soon 15 minutes passed again, and both sisters gained the ability to walk and went to the bathroom to take a bath. When both of the sisters returned from the bathroom, they directly collapsed on my bed due to tiredness. They are doing much better than me. When I first performed the body cleansing exercise, I don't know how many times I fainted, and when I had wake the next day, I was still feeling the weakness of it. Chapter 403 Giant String. You really had lot of fun teasing me, don't you? Asked Sophia. It is an evening right now and both of the sisters have woken from their sleep, but weakness could be clearly seen in their eyes. It is a good thing that they have performed the body cleansing technique first time in the morning, which gave them sufficient rest for tomorrow. If they have had performed it tonight, then they would have somehow weak tomorrow. Yeah, I really had fun poking you, I replied, which she glared at me and threw a pillow at me, which I caught easily. Would you mind staying in for dinner? I am cooking. I asked, since it is the time I usually cook and I am quite bored eating with Ashlyn daily. So I thought I should invite them. This will be my first time inviting friends to dinner in the grim battlefield. Sure, since you are so kindly inviting us, we will stay for dinner. Sophia tried to say it eloquently but failed miserably. With them saying yes, I started to make preparations for the dinner, and since I've had friends, I am making tonight's dinner special. I started to take out all the best ingredient I got from the Awakening Ground and the ones I had brought from here a few days ago. With more than a year of practice, my cooking skills are quite good that it took only for everything to go over the pan. Wow, Michael, you really can cook. We sister just have to eat the ordered food, Sophia said as she watches me cook beside the. To her compliment, I just smiled. It took over an hour for me to finish all cooking, and after that, I served the plates. We started cooking. With Sophia, the dinner was not silent at all. While we eat, we also talked about the different things. After finishing dinner, we all go to the guild to buy the information about the Ephurian ruin. We all felt that any day Adventure Paradise could make the news public, so it is better if we buy the information early as possible, since we had decided to enter the Ephurian ruin. The information very expensive. Not only I have had to use all the merit points I had, and I even had to a substantial amount of mana crystals also. I am still quite fine, but Reina and Sophia completely emptied after buying the information that they have less than 10 mana crystals left. After dropping off the tired sisters to their apartment, I went back to my apartment and hastily opened the book which I have studied quite a few times. I've returned from the awakening. It is not the book about the runes but a skill book. It is a skill book named Giant Strength. It is strength type skill I have found in the memory storage of people I've looted in the past. As what grade of the skill is, I don't know, as it was incomplete. He must have found somewhere, otherwise it would not be his memory storage but in his holowatch. This is a skill I wanted to use for quite a while but I haven't due to its harsh requirement, but after leveling up today, I have met all the requirements I need to use this skill. It has 3 requirements which are quite hard to fulfill. First is mana purity. It needs mana purity of above 93%. The second is 25 seals of supreme combat exercise, and the third is powerful mana. I have already required mana purity which staggering 94.3%. It is very high and rarely any people of my age have it. If not for me refining mana every second I am awake with my refinement engine, I wouldn't have got such purity. The second condition I have already fulfilled a few days ago when I created the 25 seals of the supreme combat exercise. As for the third condition is powerful mana. With daily refining of monster crystal my mana had started to a tiny bit of berserk property which is quite powerful. When I was initially level of sergeant stage, I was already very close to fulfilling this powerful mana condition as my mana already powerful because of its berserk property, but its quantity fell short. But after leveling up today I have powerful mana in a sufficient quantity to power up this skill. I get out of bed after reading this skill one more time. I have already understood the skill and now I just need to execute it to see how powerful it is. Taking good of a deep breath and I started to activate the skill. This skill is little different from other strengthening skill. It only needs 15% of mana white, other 85% it used at vital energy of the seals. As I activated the skill, I felt immense strength coursing through my body. It felt like I can do anything and life any weight that is in front of me. The power it is giving me is at least 4 times greater than my previous strength type night grade skill. I wonder how much its power will increase if I add the power of Sunfire into it, as skills only able to show their true power when they merged with rule power. Without rule power they are nothing. With that thought, I added 10% of my Sunfire into it and I am shocked by the power boost I've received. If I am right, which I think I am, then with this skill I have to use only 70% of my rule power to get the strength which I used to get 100% of my rule power with my previous strength type skill. This is a huge boost, and now if I am using 100% of my rule power with this skill, then the strength I gain will be 30% more, which is immense. This just my hypothesis. I will have to try before I know what I think the truth is not, and with that thinking I merged 100% of my Sunfire power into the skill. Swish 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 swish. It really is, I thought. As I practiced punches and kicks, I could clearly feel the resistance from the air which makes the swishing sound. I practiced with the skill for more near 45 minutes but stopped after seeing the time. I have practiced body cleansing technique and supreme combat exercise. If I keep practicing with my new skill, I will waste a lot of time, and quite some more time will take for body cleansing technique and supreme combat exercise, which is not good as I have to wake up very early tomorrow. Begrudgingly I stopped practicing my strength and started making preparations to practice body cleansing technique and supreme combat exercise. I activated the temperature room to practice supreme combat exercise and body cleansing technique. For today's practice, I again went back to 5% poison. As I had just leveled up today, the energy of the miracle fruit once again went into the hiding, so till the energy of miracle fruit didn't return I will have to the quantity of the poison in my body at minimum. As for when miracle fruit energy will return, I think it will returns when I reach the 31st or 32nd pose. It will not return before that. I performed the both supreme combat exercise and body cleansing technique and got the fruitful result in both of them. I reached the 28th pose in the body cleansing exercise and 2-off move in a supreme combat exercise. I will try to create the 26th seal of supreme combat exercise in few coming days. I plan on going through 5th minor cleansing and create 3rd amethyst seal in the coming 30 days. Only with this strength will I have the chance to clear the level 3 challenge of the guild. Sophia and Reina said that the level 3 challenge of the guild is extremely hard and very few people able to pass it within the 3 months of joining the guild, and I am aiming to finish that challenge in less than half of that time. It is going to be very difficult, but I will have to do it if I want to enter the Ephirian ruin. After deactivating the temperature room, I took a warm bath and fell into sleep right after that, thinking we are going to hunt the most dangerous part of Madeleine Swamp tomorrow. Chapter 404 Totem Artifacts Power I. Ring ring ring. I woke up before dawn by the alarm and started to make my preparations. Today we are going to hunting in the most dangerous part of the Madeleine Swamp. Madeleine Swamp already one of the most dangerous low-level hunting ground, and now we are going to hunt in most dangerous grim race monsters are of most dangerous area. This is going to be very dangerous. If not for team leader is present, I would have never dared to go there without being completely sure of my strength. As I've said, this is the most dangerous area. If we are successfully able to beat every challenge that comes in our way without team leader's help, we will have an eligibility to hunt in mid-level hunting ground. The team leader said that we will train in the most dangerous area of the Madeleine Swamp for 4 days, and as far as what we will do for the last 3 days, he didn't mention anything, just said that it is going to be a surprise worth remembering. I finished all my preparations within an hour and left my apartment for the city gates. When I reached the city gates, there was only Ben present there, but within 10 minutes Richie and Emma had arrived, and not long after them Sophia and Reina. It is the team leader that arrived late. After he arrived, we started our journey following the team leader, as he didn't specify on which route we are going to enter in the center of the Madeleine Swamp. We will take a shortcut today. By circumventing the forbidden ground we will enter the very core of Madeleine Swamp, said team leader, but just as he said that all of us stopped on our track. Forbidden ground? Did he just say forbidden ground? Forbidden ground, all of us shouted that word in shock. The forbidden grounds is the most dangerous area of the world. They found everywhere, and our republic also has them. The areas that were not even explored by powerful experts, as the simple mistake inside them could result in death. They are simply death grounds. It is said the forbidden ground is the place where the membrane of our world is most thin, and that is why chaotic energies of the outside had infiltrated through that membrane, thus creating a forbidden ground. The energies of the outside are very dangerous, and even whip of them could turn one ash with a second. They are that dangerous, but it is not without treasures also. Though forbidden grounds are death grounds, they are also treasured ground. Everything found there are a treasure, and even soil of that place sold at extremely high prices. It is said that chaotic energy that comes from outside could make everything a treasure. As long as something is being in prolonged contact with that energy, it will either be destroyed or will turn into treasure. That is why every mineral, a metal found in that place is ideal material for crafting the totem artifact, and all the herbs that found there is used to brew the priceless potion. The bottle of potion she had left for me also made of herbs found in the forbidden ground. The 99% that venture there die. Only very powerful people could survive the onslaught of that chaotic energy inside of the treasure ground. Even they did not dare to stay at that place any longer. It said that chaotic energy is not the only danger in the awakening ground. There are many things far dangerous than this exist in that place. I don't know if there is any truth or not in this sentence. I think it made up to thwart those daring ones who wanted to enter the forbidden ground in search of the treasures. Relax, I do not have a death wish. We are just circumventing around it. We will be at least a mile apart from its boundary, said team leader in a very assuring tone. But going that close to the forbidden ground, won't it be dangerous? Said Emma, sounding unassured despite the team leader's assurance. This is the terror of forbidden ground. One time people would be ready to go the extremely dangerous ruin which has a negligible chance of surviving than go to the forbidden ground. Trust me, I've used that way tens of times in the past, and it is the best way to go also, as this will save us 4 to 5 hours time, said instructor confidently. Seeing his confidence, we all felt assured enough to follow him, but we are still very scared about the forbidden ground. Time passed by, and 2 hours later we reached the vicinity of the forbidden ground, where not a single soul could be seen. If we followed this path, then it would take us a maximum 1 hour to reach the center of Madeleine Swamp, said the team leader, and started to speed up, and this time his speed is more than 3 times of that normal. I have to merge nearly 40% of sun fire to my night grade skill to able to follow the team leader. This is the first fire he is this fast, as most of the time he very careful and vigilant. He seemed to be quite familiar with this area, as he is not checking the map on his holowatch now and then, which he usually does. Except for team leader, we all very careful like a frightened rabbit, who jumped on hearing the smallest sound. The terror forbidden grounds had ingrained deeply in our heart, that even we know that there is almost no danger outside the boundary of the forbidden ground, we still felt despite a mile away from the boundary of the forbidden ground. With passing time, we started to loosen our nerves little by little and we started to look around, this time with a gaze of curiosity, not fear. If one looks around this area, they will find it quite normal like others. Our grim battlefield were dense foreign energy of grim race, but when concentrating enough they will sense another energy, which is very faint but extremely intimidating. That is the energy of forbidden ground. I have heard about how intimidating it is and how just a faint sense of it is enough to shake one to the core. Thank God it's just aura of that energy we are able to sense. If it were real energy, we would have run with tail tucked between our legs. Soon an hour passed and we got far enough that we can sense that intimidating aura even if we wanted to. Suddenly team leader stopped and closed his eyes for a moment before he speaks with a smile. You guys are quite lucky to find Grim Race Monster to fight before you even reached your destination, said Team Lever. How many Grim Race Monster are there and what are their levels? Emma asked the main point directly. Hearing her question, smile on the team leader's face brightened even more as he looked at us. There are 15 Grim Race Monsters of Purple Strip Tigerman race and all of them are elite Colonel stage. The team leader said, which shocked all of us as 15 elite Colonel stage monsters are very difficult for us, and we were about to shake our heads saying no. The team leader said something which stopped us on our track. If you were able to defeat this group of Grim Race Monsters, then some of you able to defeat second opponent in guild challenges while some of yous will get very close to defeating it. So, are you guys up for the challenge? Asked the team leader with teasing voice. Chapter 405 Totem Artifacts Power 2. So, are you guys up for the challenge? Asked the team leader with teasing voice, a dare apparent in his voice. We all stumped, and as fighting 15 elite Colonel stage Grim Race Monster is too much for our team, especially when our opponent is Purple Striped Tigerman tribe. This tribe is very ferocious and has both speed and strength as their forte, while the defense is also above average. We would have directly said no him right after hearing this proposal, but what instructor said about some of us able to beat our second opponent in guild challenge made us think about it greatly. There are 15 Purple Stripped Tigerman tribe monsters. If they had been 12, we would have yes, but 15 is. I was just busy with my thoughts when I heard Ellen said something which brought me outside my thinking. I can handle 4, she said. I too can handle 4, said Richie right after Emma said. We sisters can handle 2 together, said Sophia. I can also handle 2, said Ben, and after that everyone looked at me, awaiting my answer. I can see in their eyes that they want me to handle 3 Grim Race Monsters. 3 monsters are really difficult. I would have able to handle 2 elite Colonel stage Grim Race Monsters, even kills them with my increase in strength, but handling 3 is too much as it changes everything. 3 elite Colonel stage Grim Monsters will beat me back so badly that I won't even have a chance to the response to their attacks. I want to say no as I could only able to handle 2, but something inside me stopping me say that. It is saying that I should say yes, only fighting such impossible battle will I able to improve. Okay, I will handle 3, I said finally with a sigh. You just have to keep them busy for a while. As soon as I finished with the monsters that I am fighting with, I will come to help you, Emma said as if understanding my emotions, to which I could only smile. Well, you guys sure took a lot of time, said team leader. No worries, they haven't gone too far. You guys have to walk about 400 meters ahead and you will come across them, said team leader while motioning his finger toward the right direction. We nodded at him and started to walk toward the direction of the Grim Race Monster. While walking toward the Grim Race Monster directions, I activated both of rule power at 100% and also activated my skill, especially my strengthening skill, the Giant Strength. I hope this skill will work its magic and give me a chance to fight against 3 monsters, as I do not want to take a beating from them only. Oh, look, a group of delicious preys, and we didn't have to search for them this time, said one Purple Striped Tigerman as he looked at us coming together. Just as team leader said, there are 15 monsters of Purple Stripped Tigerman tribe. All of them are about 3 meters tall and wearing long metallic claws on their hands which looked extremely sharp. We found them very quickly and didn't have to do anything much to find them. We walked toward the direction that the team leader asked to walk, and we came across them just as team leader said. Which shocked me quite a bit. This means that team leader can sense at 400-meter distance around him. That is freaking crazy. I thought his sensory limit would be around 50 meters, but it turned he can sense up to the 400 meters. Which is crazy. With the help of killing rule, my sensory range extends to about 20 meters, but that is on condition that someone have a killing intent. Without killing intent, I can sense only 10 meters around me accurately. The team leader must have comprehended the sensory type rule power, or rule power enhance one's senses, as only rule power could give such powerful sense. Be careful, they have with the fighting intention, said one Tigerman, who looked average. Tigerman who has one of the strongest battle power. Ha 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 ha. Boss, they think too highly of themselves with their little bit of strength, said one of the Tigerman while laughing, but like his mates, he also summoned his totem spirit. These monsters looked very brute and ferocious but quite smart. As soon as their boss told there may be something wrong with us, all of them started to summon their totem spirits without any hesitations. All of you don't waste too much of the fighting them, use your full strength from the start. After you killed them I will give time to eat them, said the boss, hearing that all the purple-stripped Tigermen let out their saliva-filled tongues before coming at us. We were already in the formation, and seeing them coming at us ferociously we moved to engage them. I directly moved toward a group of 3 purple-stripped Tigermen, and seeing I am alone intercepting them, a big smile formed on their face. You are underestimating us too much, shouted grim race monsters which in the middle as 3 of them attacked me with the very sharp metallic claws. All of 3 of them attacked me with the unison, with me having 100% power of my rules activated and merged with my skill. I quickly threw the best way to counter their attack within the second and acted on it. I moved front 1 step and moved my body a little, effectively avoiding the 4 claws, and used my sword and shield both to counter 2 claws that are coming toward my chest and head. Clank clank. Pooh. Thud thud thud. As both of the claws clashed against my sword and shield, I felt immense force traveling in my body which immediately injured my internal organs and make me take several steps back, which surprised me very much. I thought I would directly fly away from the force of the claw, and for that, I was very prepared, but to my surprise, I did not fly away, instead took several steps back. Seeing that I turned ecstatic, the boost I received from yesterday's level up and my new skill quite significant that I might not need others' help to defeat these 3 monsters, I thought inside my mind. As I was taking a step back, the 3 of them came at me with clear anger in their eyes. They must have thought with the 3 of them together, it would need them just a few seconds, but to their utter shock, not only I had not dead by their attack, it even failed to injure me seriously. Bang bang bang. The 3 purple strips Tigerman had ferociously attacked me, with their attack stronger than before, but I was not weakling either. With my newfound confidence over my strength, I started to respond to them more furiously than them. As I am responding to the attacks, I saw faint blue light on the battlefield, and lucky enough to be in the right place to see it from the corner of my eyes. So, she is finally using it. Chapter 406 Totem Artifacts Power 3. Totem Artifact. Emma had finally summoned her totem artifact. When one entered the lieutenant stage, one produces a creation seed. With the help of the creative seed one can create a totem artifact. There are many things required to create the totem artifact, which is totem blueprints and precious materials. The power of one's totem artifact depends on 2 things. In my team, there are 3 people that are above the lieutenant stage, Emma, Richie, and Ben, and all 3 of them have totem artifact, but not one of them had used the totem artifact they have created. They have not used their totem artifact until now. It's not because there's some sort of condition on using it. It's just that they were never in dire enough straits that they would need to use their trump, as their totem artifact is their biggest trump card. The totem artifact I am using is not able to show its true power because I am not its original owner. If I had been the original owner of the red sword, it would have been a very powerful weapon, and I would have easily able to kill the 3 grim race monsters that I am fighting. Emma had finally summoned her totem artifact, which means she has no other choice. When I looked at her summoning her totem artifact with the corner of my eyes, I was shocked to see in the condition she is in. She looked extremely wretched state, her clothes are torn and deep injuries could be seen on various parts of her body. It had not been a minute since the fight had started and she is already in this condition. It is quite difficult to believe. Though the four monsters are strong, they are not this strong to injure her at this level. There must be something else. I have come to know what that something else when I saw something leaping at her in the blurring speed. It is boss of the purple-stripped tiger man. I did not expect it to have such fearsome power when I sensed its battle power earlier. I had sensed it as very strong but not strong enough to get such a blurring speed. There could be only one reason for this. Occult method. The boss of the purple-striped tiger man is using the occult. Only some strange occult method are able to deceive the sense of my killing. When I had joined the guild, I had read all the free material it has on the occult methods and found that some occult methods are able to deceive the sensory type rule. The occult method I had come across before was not able to deceive my senses, but this one is able to. I have to be vigilant from now on against both grim race monsters and humans, who know they have the strange occult method which could deceive me. Despite summoning her totem artifact, Emma is still quite disadvantageous against the boss of grim race monsters who are using the occult method, but I am not worried. It was her first time fighting the opponent who has the occult method. As long as she got used to it she will able to defend against it. As for she was able to defeat her opponent, which I can't say, as the power of occult skills is very hard to predict. I would have loved to watch their fight more, but I have to fight these three grim race monsters. I would have liked to watch the fight of Emma for more than a moment. Bang bang bang. All three monsters are attacking me like crazy and I was all busy defending against without having the chance to attack. The only good that through their repetitive attacks, I started to get used to the rhythm of their attacks, and that is why better able to defend against, and because of then I stopped getting injured by the attack. I would have never guessed that my small level and new strengthening skill would give me such boost. If not for them then I would have been crashing against the tree and now with puking blood. Clack. My shield crashed against the claw of one grim race monster and I used my sword to attack, but that bastard was quick and my sword was just passed by scratching its armor. Right after that, the grim race monsters got angry seeing that and started to launch a barrage of attack on me, which I am barely able to defend against without getting too much injured. As I am fighting, a faint green light come across my eyes and I knew someone must have summoned their totem artifact. It must be either Richie or Ben. I don't know who it is as both of them are out of my view. Bang bang bang. I was besieged by tens of claws every moment as this grim race monsters kept attacking me. If I had been alone and had to finish the fight quickly, I would have definitely asked Ashlyn's help. With her having similar rule power like me and able to fly, she would have been a big help and I would have been able to finish the fight early, but alas I am not alone and didn't want to expose Ashlyn unless it's necessary. Time passed by and with the passing time, my grip over the battle kept increasing. Now I am not only defending but attacking also, but till now, except for some hair, I was not able to cut anything. I tried many times but these bastards' speed is too great that whenever I tried to attack, they will dodge or defend the one I am attacking. If this 1 versus 1 or 2 versus 1, this fight would have been finished already. Poochie. Slash. Slash. A chance, I thought as I slightly moved and pierced my sword at the eye of grim race monster and released the point inferno that I've changed inside, and while I am attacking him I am also being attacked. I tried to dodge but 2 claws till left some gruesome wound on my back. I knew I will get attacked if I attacked, but this chance was perfect. That idiot had leaped at me with its claws out. I just had to move a little to dodge it and pierced my sword into its eyes. Thud. It fell on the floor with a thud, completely dead as it should be, as I had completely melted its brain with the point inferno. I dodged the attack of 2 grim race monsters while controlling myself not scream as I am feeling immense pain due to gruesome wound on my back. After killing the first grim race monster, pressure on me lot lessens. If not for having a serious injury on my back, I would have killed one more monster by now, but still, I will not take me more than a few minutes to kill them. I was right. I had killed the 2 monsters within 4 minutes of killing the first grim race monster, and the first thing I did after killing all the monsters is drink a few bottles of potions, as my injuries are too deep that my spine and other bones could be seen through it. Chapter 407 Totem Artifacts Power 4. As I drank a few bottles of potions, I felt my injuries started healing. These injuries were really serious. Not only those sharp claws had CIT through my skin, but they had also cut some of my bones. I was good thing that there is no major damage on my spine, otherwise I would have to pay hell. As for these injuries, it will take 2-3 hours for them to heal relatively. After tending my wounds, I looked around only to see except for me and Emma, everyone had finished their battles and now watching Emma's battle with Grim Monster in full concentration. I want to scream at them. I was just fighting 3 monsters a few moments ago, but not one of them was keeping eyes on me in case I am in danger and needed their help. The battle between Emma and the leader of the Grim Race monsters is very intense. Their moves are so fast that the naked eye is barely able to catch it. If not for me having killing rule, I wouldn't have also able to see their battle with perfect clarity. Emma is having a hard time. I thought as I looked at the battle, her opponent's power is too great. Its every move is concentrated at her weakness. If not for comprehending the powerful wind elemental rule which gave her very fast speed, I don't think Emma would have lasted this long. Earlier I thought after enough time, she would get used to the power of occult method that her opponent is wielding, but I was wrong, both her getting used to Grim Monster's power and the power that Grim Master is wielding. I was very wrong to think that her opponent had barely scratched the surface of the occult method. The leader of Purple Striped Tigerman had scratched much more than the surface of the occult method he had comprehended, and he is also very proficient in using it. That is why he is giving such a hard time to Emma. Who do you think will win? Asked Sophia as she came closer to me with her sister. It's harder to say, I said. Winning this battle is very difficult, not only Emma but also for the leader of the Grim Monsters. Though he has upper hand in battle and suppressing Emma quite fairly, and that is that. He is just suppressing her, not completely dominating her. Unless the leader of the Grim Race monster increased his power again, it's very difficult for it to win. As for Emma, she is at her last leg. From the battle power that I could sense from her, I know she is giving her all just to defend. The only way she could win is to improve her power during the battle in some way. I still think Emma has a chance to win, Sophia said, to which Reina and I shook our head the same time. Sophia is just too optimistic. She can clearly see the condition Emma is in, but she's still hoping Emma would win. It is very difficult for Emma to win unless she could bring out a strong trump card, which I don't have any, said Sophia, making the same assessment I've made about Emma. As time passed, there was literally no change in the battle except for Emma gaining a few more injuries which seemed to slow her down a little further. The occult energy must have starting to take the effect on her. I have first-hand experience of how difficult the occult energy is. The occult energy is different from all the other energies. From what I have read, every occult method produces a different type of occult energy. There have never the same types occult energies in the different type of occult methods. The only thing is common occult energies that they are very hard to remove. One needs to overpower it with the sheer force. Only this way one can remove the occult energy from one's body, and currently Emma has no way to do it. The only thing she can do is seal that occult energy. Seal that occult energy in the injuries and remove it in the safety of one home. Her totem artifact is really good, said Sophia, and I nodded without hesitation. It was only because of the totem artifact that she capable of fighting. Her totem artifact is very powerful, and when she infused her rule power into it, it became even more amazing. The reason we have said that her totem artifact is very good because the way it is handling the rule power, not only it seamlessly using the rule power, it also helps her revolving rule power all over her body, which increased her speed even more. She must have had tailored the totem blueprint according to her needs and also used many precious materials to craft such powerful totem artifact. I hope when I create my totem artifact in the future, it would also be powerful as Emma's. The leader of the Grim Monster gave another cut to Emma at her waist, and this one seemed little deeper as it had made Emma grit her teeth. Richie, a little help here would be nice, shouted Emma while fighting. She finally could not able to take it anymore as she asked Richie for help finally. Hun. Just as Richie heard Emma's shout for help, he summoned his totem artifact, and in the red brightness, a red spear appeared in the Richie hand, which made me surprised. As the weapon Richie mostly uses is the long sword, I thought his totem artifact would be in the shape of the long sword, but it turned out to be a spear. A dark red spear which looked like it made from volcanic red crystals. Even at quite a distance from him I could feel the hot air releasing from the spear. It took less than a second for Richie to summon his spear, and just after that, Richie joined the battle. With Richie joining the battle, the pressure on Emma lessened a lot and two started to attack. I have to say the combination of both of them is very good. While Emma's combat style is filled with speed and swiftness, Richie is exactly the opposite. Every attack of Richie's spear is filled with power, stability, and agility. Every strike of his spear felt like the punch of the monster ape. It is filled with power, but it also has the agility which can't let you get away no matter where you move. With Richie entering the battle, the leader of the Grim Race monsters have to go the defensive as both of the launching the flurry of attacks at it that it barely had the chance to attack. What do you say now? Do both of them have the chance of winning now? Sophia asked smugly, to which both of us shook our head. With both Emma and Richie attacks, they have merely put the Grim Race monster on defensive, and despite being two of them attacking it, they were still not able to cut the hair on the Grim Race monster's body, much less make cuts on its skin. Looking at the way it is defending against both of their attacks, I don't think they have any chance of defending it unless they increase their strength during the battle. Bang! As the battle was raging intensely, the Grim monster suddenly took the jump back using the force of Richie's spear against his claws and started to run across the air. Seeing the monster is running, Emma and Richie followed after immediately, and we started to follow them as we didn't want to miss any action. Just a few seconds after the chases started, it had become apparent that we would lose the Grim monster as its speed is too great. Its speed is too great that even Emma wasn't able to catch up to it despite having a powerful wind-type rule power. It had already put up quite a distance between us and started to disappear out of our view when we saw Team Leader had appeared directly in front of it. Seeing the Team Leader appearing in front of it, the Grim monster directly launched an attack, but before its attack reached halfway, the Team Leader casually punched it in the chest. Chapter 408 The Map. Bang! Bang sounded when Team Leader fist punched on the chest of the Grim Race monster, and the next moment Grim Race monsters crashed on the ground with the rocket speed. It had even created the small crater where it was crashed, and when we checked its condition, we found it as completely dead with its bone crushed, especially of his chest where its chest caved and all of its bones turned into powder. I am shocked seeing it in such condition. It must have died the moment Team Leader had punched him. Such a power! I marveled. Team Leader is super strong, I gaped. You guys would have defeated it after fighting it for some time, but you let it run away. If you guys kept putting such half-hearted effort, then it would be really difficult for you guys to clear up level 3 challenger within the month, stated Team Leader in a serious voice. He had not only said this to Emma and Rich but to all of us, and what he said is right. The guild challenges are extremely difficult, and we didn't give us all, then it would be very difficult for us clear level 3 within the month. It is not difficult and many people have it every year, but if you guys want to do it also, then you should focus more and give your all in training. Only then you guys will have a chance to clear the level 3 challenge before Furion Ruin opened, said Team Leader. This time his voice is softer than before. We all nodded to his advice, as we all know if we didn't give us all, then we would not able to clear the level 3 guild challenge, thus effectively crushing all the hopes of entering the Furion Ruins. Let's see if this one have anything interesting, said Instructor as he took out the storage band of Grim Race monster from his hand and then started to remove the things inside it one by one. We were shocked by this scene but soon come to understand how the Team Leader able to do it. It's because of mana transmutation crystals, and Instructor has one of the top 3 transmutation crystal in him. The Instructor had just taken out the storage band of the Grim Race monster and started to remove the things inside them one by one. Normally humans can't operate the artifacts of the Grim Race as they required dark energy and human practice mana energy, so there is no way for normal warriors to use the artifacts of Grim Race, but for some people it is possible. Those who have used the special mana transmutation crystals to transmute their mana could barely operate the weapons of the Grim Race. Though they can bring out less than 10% power of the artifacts, which is not enough for one to use them for fighting purposes, it is enough to operate storage devices of the Grim Race. In the guild, there are 12 transmutation crystals, but only 3 crystal have the ability to barely operate the Grim monsters. Those 3 are the top 3 mana transmutation crystals, and the guilds are very expensive. What is this? Asked Sophia to her sister as she picked up a folded leather skin that Team Leader had thrown it out thinking useless, and Sophia picked up. Hearing her question, Reina took the leather skin and opened it. It seemed to some roughly drawn map, said Reina. Team leader, would you take a look at this? Said Sophia to team leader. This got us curious also as we all looked toward the team leader as he took the map from the Sophia. After taking the map from Sophia's hands, he started to study it, and from time to time various expressions come across his faces. Interesting, said the team leader as continued studying the map, and our curiosity about the map increased again. Team leader, what is it? Asked Sophia excitedly. Like always, she is the most curious of our all. Asked the question that everyone wants to ask. It is a map, and if I am right then its destination is not far from here, said team leader, hearing that we all became excited. It must be something exciting there for them to draw the map on the leader's skin and not their devices. Grim Race also has something like out HoloWatch. In this age, anyone barely uses paper. If they want to take a note they take on their devices but whoever had drawn did not do that. There could be only two reasons for this. One is some secret in that place and whoever had draws this didn't want anyone to know, and that is why he had drawn this, and second is that this map is simply old, that when it was drawn, there were no devices like HoloWatch and others. The second possibly makes this map very old, at least 1 to 2 and 1,000 years, and looking at how worn out the map is. Can we go now, team leader, please? If we were lucky we could find a treasure inside, said Sophia pleadingly to team leader, and we all also looked at him with the same expression. Though there may be not much use to us and we may not able to find some treasures as we are hoping for, but the adventure itself would worth it, and the team leader himself said that the destination of the map is not far from here. It's too dangerous for you. Currently you guys are too weak to go there, said team leader. Hearing that disappointed expression flashed on our face, I really wanted to see what this map has. Seeing our disappointed faces, the team leader let out a hearty laugh and said something which made all of gain hope. But if all of you were able to clear the level 2 guild challenge in the 4 days time, then I promise I will take you guys for the treasure hunt, team leader. This one sentence of his brought shine to all of our faces. Really? Asked Sophia, and the instructor nodded. Suddenly I felt 2 gazes on me, not only me but Sophia, Reina, and Ben also felt 2 gazes on it is from Rich and Emma. Their guys clearly telling us, you guys better work hard and clear the level 2 guild challenge, otherwise you will pay the price. To that, we all rolled our eyes, but we know they are serious. If any one of us were not able to clear the level 2 challenge in 4 days, we will sure take a beating for them. The team leader may not have said this explicitly, but it is clear that he will take not us for the treasure hunt if even one of us not able to clear the level 2 challenge. So to go to the treasure hunt all have to beat level 2 challenge of the guild. It is clear that Emma and Richie have the strength to clear the level 2 challenge of the guild, while 4 of us lack a little. We have to improve enough in the 4 days that we have the strength to beat the second challenge. Chapter 4090. Let me help you, said team leader, seeing Emma's struggling expressions. She had been injured quite badly. Her bodily injuries are not bad, but the occult energy inside her wound wouldn't let it heal no matter how much she tried. She had been trying to expel the occult energy from her body, but all her attempts were unfruitful. If it had been that easy, then it wouldn't have taken me 3 days to burn it off. The team leader must have been observing her for a while, so when he saw her struggling expression he decided to help. Stay calm and stop using all your power, the team leader said as he walked beside her. She nodded and did as team leader told her. The team leader gently placed his hand on her naked shoulder, and next moment all the tiny hairs on her body stood up and I could hear an extremely faint lightning sound. Team leader must be using his lightning rule to remove the burn of the occult energy inside her body. His control over his rule power must be amazing if he could do that, as the power we release could injure the one who we trying to heal. I looked at the process for a minute, but feeling bored, I walked toward the monsters to harvest the mana crystals from them. Today I had killed all 3 Grim Race monsters, so there will be no experiment today, only harvesting. It is said that the normal kernel stage Grim Race monster gave 50 mana crystals, but all the 3 I had killed were elite, so these 3 should able to give me around 60 to 70 mana crystal each. With excitement, I had placed the runic disc on the Grim monster chest, and a moment later, it had started to harvest the mana crystal. I should buy at least 2 runic discs, I thought as I looked at 2 bodies that are left open. I can only harvest them after I had finished with first. If I had 2 runic discs I would have been able to harvest all 3 monsters together. Emma and Richie had already brought extra runic discs a few days ago from the guild and I planned to buy today. With my power increased, I will mostly fight against elite kernel stage monsters and should have at least 3 runic discs with me, but the problem is high-grade runic discs are not cheap. Even with the guild discount, they cost a ton, but now I don't have a choice but to buy them. Ting. About 12 minuets later, the runic disc finished harvesting the mana crystals from the Grim race, and to my surprise I have harvested 69 mana crystal. 69 mana crystal, which is quite a great number. It is the highest number of mana crystals I've ever harvested from the Grim monster. Hell, I have never harvested half that amount from the single Grim race monster. Looks like as long as I kept hunting elite kernel stage monsters, I will never lack the mana crystals, I thought as I put away all 69 mana crystals in my storage. All done, you can now drink the potions to heal your injuries, said the team leader as he takes off his hand from Emma's shoulder. So early, it had been just 15 minuets and team leader had already finished burning off occult energy from Emma's body. It took me 3 days, a day and night of the whole 3 days, but the team leader did that in just 15 minuets. The occult energy I was plagued with was from elite captain stage, who barely able to touch the surface of occult skill, but the one Emma fought had scratched the surface of the occult skill and its occult energy was very powerful than the one I've had plagued with, but team leader still able to burn it off in 15 minuets. Looks like I've to stop predicting the power of those whose battle power I can't sense, as those who I aren't able to sense is powerful enough to finish me off in one move. If I ever come across the opponent whose battle power I can't sense, then the first thing I will do is run as fast as I can. We will leave in 1 hour, said team leader, to which all of us nodded. Those who were most injured amongst our group were me and Emma. It had been more than 1.5 hours since I finished my battle, and another 1 hour that team leader had given is enough to heal my injuries relatively. TAS for Emma, her injuries were not that serious, the only problem with her was the occult energy inside her body, which had been burned off by the team leader. Ting. A bell sounded a few minutes later and I finished harvesting the second Grim race monster, which gave me 67 mana crystal, which I had expected to get. Another 10 some minutes passed and I had finished harvesting the mana crystal from the third Grim race monster. Of all 3 Grim race monster, it has given me the highest mana crystal, which is 70. In a single fight, I had gained 206 mana crystal, which is the highest one I got in the single fight. After I finished harvesting all the mana crystal, I started to clean the ashes of the Grim monsters, collecting their storage artifacts, weapons, and other things. These things may not offer much compared to mana crystals. They still get quite a good price, and that is why I never leave single thing I found on the body of the Grim race monsters. The hour passed by in the silence. Everyone was focused on resting and healing whatever injuries they have got. By the time an hour is over, my injuries are relatively healed. To completely recover, I will need at least 5 to 6 hours more. Alright, let's go. We only have 2 hours left now. You guys at least need to fight one more big team of monsters like this, the team leader said as he motioned toward the husks of the Grim race monsters. The next 2 hours our luck could not said to be best, but it was not bad either. We have not come across the large group of elite kernel stage monster, but we have come across 3 groups who had normal kernel stage and elite kernel stage monster in them. The fights have finished early. We have already had the experience of fighting the big and powerful group, and compared to that these 3 groups were small and weak. It can be said that we took more time harvesting mana crystal out of them than actually killing them, and the last group dead, our time of leaving had come and we left the same way that we had come, around the forbidden ground. The return journey had been uneventful, nothing exciting happened. Whatever weak Grim race monster we come across were killed by the team leader as usual. Trang, beep beep, dum dum. Nothing unusual happened on the way, but as we reached near the outpost and signal had returned to our holowatches, they all started to ring, and including the team leaders. So the news is finally out. I thought as I read the news, which a reminder I had set up a few days ago. Chapter 410, Conquering Second Challenge. News of Ephirian Ruin is finally out, and it had instantly shadowed all the topics on the web. It seemed to be making bigger blast than I expected, as nearly all the people in Outpost talking about it on the web, but also on the streets. When we entered the outposts, all we could hear about the Ephirian Ruin and nothing else. It was a good thing we had brought the information at yesterday, or we would have had to pay hell lot more, said Sophia as she looked the renewed price of information about the Ephirian Ruin. I also nodded. Every organization, store, guild, etc. had information about the Ephirian ruin increased their price near tenfold. After submitting all the things I got from the Grim Race monster in the guild, I returned back to my apartment. Today was really fruitful. Not only I have killed the several elite kernel stage Grim Race but also harvested a lot of mana crystal from them, and this just the starting. The next 3 days went by as I had imagined. We hunted so crazily that each day was dangerous than I before, and every day I had received serious injuries, but that didn't stop me for training more intensely. Each day, I had harvested more than 1,000 mana crystal. I had expected that I would able to harvest 1,000 mana crystal a day but did not expect that day would come this soon. Today had given us off by the team leader to take a good rest, as if today we are going to take guild's challenge, and if we are successful then team leader going to take us for the treasure hunt. That is what we calling it now. The team leader did not say much except for that the destination of the map in the mid-level hunting ground. We were not that surprised knowing it is mid-level hunting ground, but our hearts still started to beat faster. The mid-level hunting grounds are completely different from the low-level hunting ground. The low-level hunting ground is for the rookies who had just entered the grim battlefield, and there is not much danger there, but mid-level hunting ground are completely different. The elite kernel stage we have been fighting against is the weakest Grim Race monsters in the mid-level hunting ground. The elites of Grim Race we have fought are just starting point of the elite. In the real sense, they are not considered much in front of the star elites found in the mid-level hunting ground. There is another reason why the team leader had asked us to clear the guild challenge before he could take for the treasure hunt, and that is because of guild rules. For us to hunt in the medium-level hunting ground, we at least have to clear the level 2 guild challenge before we have permission to hunt in the mid-level hunting ground. I would not have the guts to hunt in mid-level hunting ground this early if not for instructor coming with us. He is someone who had cleared all the 9 challenges in the guild challenge. Even in the S-class guild, very few people have the power to clear all the challenges, especially as young as our team leader, who about the same age as Emma. I just hope that I will able to clear the second guild challenge today, and I think I have quite a good chance to clear the second challenge, about 80%. Not only I had have trained very hard for the past 4 days, I even able to create the 27th seal of the Supreme Combat exercise in the morning and reached 30-second pose of body cleansing technique which I had performed in front of Sophia and Reina. In just 4 days, both of the sisters had reached the first cleansing and the result could clearly be seen on them. Not only their movements became more flexible, their skin also brightened a little, making them even more beautiful. It is already evening and I will leave for the guild in a few moments, as 4 of us going to attempt to clear the guild challenge, and as for the other 2, Emma and Richie, they have had already cleared the second challenge 2 days ago. Let's go, Ashlyn. I said to Ashlyn, who is sitting in the balcony. After hearing my voice, she flew to my shoulder and we exited my apartment. Michael. I heard my name just as I got out the hover car, and it was off Sophia, who was seen to be talking with our team members. We have been waiting for you for the past 10 minutes. Let's go, said Sophia, and she literally held my hand, started pulling me toward the guild. Soon we all reached the chamber where the guild challenge is done and saw that there are already 3 people were waiting there. If you had come early, we would not have to wait for our turn, said the Sophia as we sat. Relax, it's just half-hour waiting, said Emma. Richie and Emma had specially come today for cheer 4 of us as going to treasure hunt, and it would depend on all of us clearing second guild challenge. If one of us failed, then all hopes of going for treasure hunt will be doused in the water. If 4 of you are able to clear the second challenge, then we will treat in the expensive restaurant, said Emma. She is not only dwindling carrot in front of us but also indirectly pressuring us to do better and clear the challenge. Well, you don't have to worry about me. I am quite confident that I will be able to clear the challenge, and if everyone also cleared, which I expected them to, then we will enjoy the expensive meal an hour later. Time passed one by one. All 3 people took their turn, and within half an hour all 3 of them finished their turn, and now it's own turn to go. I'll go first, Ben said just as the last person comes out of the door. I can tell that Sophia wanted to go first, but seeing Ben called out first, she did not say anything. Seeing one objected, Ben went inside the door and we all waited for him with the bated breath. Each and every one of us has to clear the challenge. Time passed by and we silently waited. No one is moved to make talk, like everyone's gaze is focused on the door. Click. 7 minutes later the door opened again and Ben came out and one could see an extra bright smile on his face. "Did you clear it?" asked Emma. "Yes, I did," said Ben. "How was it?" asked Sophia. "We already have an idea about second challenge strength from Emma and Richie, but it would be nice to hear from Ben who is at our level." Just like Emma and Richie said, I was skipped by the first challenge and directly appeared in front of the second challenge. My opponent was Monster and it was very challenging, but I was able to defeat it, he said with apparent happiness. "As long as you guys give your all, conquering the second challenge won't be difficult," Ben said in encouragement. Chapter 4:11 Conquering the Second Challenge 2 Final. "I'll go next," said Sophia and left for the door, and she took even less time to come back. She finished her challenge in 5 minutes, which is even lesser than Ben. Except for me. Everyone is shocked seeing this as they thought the two sisters are weakest in the team when they are not fighting together, but I do not. I don't know whether it is due to high intuition my killing rule gave me and or just gut feeling I had always though thought these two sisters are stronger than they seem. I have not found any proof of it, and their battle power also weakest of all the team members, but the inkling I get from them sometimes made me believe that they lot stronger than they seem. What a fight! Sophia said as she comes out. Her fiery red hair seems to become extra bright due to her happiness, and without asking Sophia started to explain how her fight went. "I'll go now," I said and walked toward the door. Just like last time there was the small crystal placed on the stand. Sitting in front of it, I focused all my energy on it and soon I found my consciousness slipping. When I opened my eyes again, I found myself standing on the beautiful beach. Beneath my feet, I could see the multicolor sand and peaceful sound of sea waves crashing on the shore. It's such beautiful scenery that everyone wants to enjoy. Soon my opponent appeared in front of me, and it is a human. He is a burly young man in late teens wearing full-body leather armor and has a silver morning star in his hands which had very sharp spikes on it which made it look very scary. "Second challenge will initiate in 3 seconds. A monotonous voice rang out and I got ready with my sword. "Battle," said the monotonous voice as the countdown came to 0. "Ah!" My burly opponent screamed loudly and came at me with very threatening-looking morning star. I didn't back down either. With my strengthening skill giant strength which had become even more powerful after 27th seal, I have enough strength to directly clash against with my opponent's morning star. Clank! A loud clank rang out and I felt my body shaking due to intense energy traveled inside my body. If I had experienced this blow 4 days ago, I would have taken the tens of steps back, but now, I just shook a little. Seeing I didn't take a single step back, my opponent had become very angry and launched a flurry of attacks at me. It must have used some sort of skill as each attack is stronger than the previous. Clank clank. I responded to his furious attacks with my own. My sword attacks may not have as much as power as his morning star, but they are very precise that they are able to diffuse each and every blow with the precious. See. Suddenly white flames covered his morning star and intense coldness started to radiate from them, and that coldness started to travel from his morning star into my sword. Seeing that, I quickly covered my sword with the sun fire, and all coldness that had to try to infiltrate my sword turned into the steam. What a strong ice ability! That cold flame covering his sword were not his rule power but the ability. I wish I had such powerful ability. I am the only one in my team that rarely uses my ability while others use it on a regular basis, and that is because my ability is too weak and having powerful ability is important. It is may not much important right now, but it will become important when I level up from the night stage. I have searched for many ways to increase my ability, but there are very few. Evolution of the ability depended on the monster. Even if the monster has some type of ability like wind, fire, physical, etc., there is a vast difference between them. Each monster's ability to evolve in a different way, that means one needs a different thing to evolve the abilities of different monsters, and that is why it is very difficult. It would have been nice if Ashlyn had been from popular and powerful monster species, as there is a lot of research done on them and things they needed to evolve their abilities are pretty much known, but Ashlyn is from Grey Spark Sparrow, one of the most common and the lowest level monsters in world. Only people those do not have any option are bonded with these species, so obviously no one will do research on them. Till now, I had only found one material that provoked a response from Ashlyn and helped her ability evolve once, and that is the core of the fiery lion. The core of Fiery Lion is the only thing that helped her evolve her ability once, and she had been eating pieces of its core till every day. Every few days I have her different fire-type monsters' core to eat, but not single monster's core except for Fiery Lions had provoked the response from her. Well, I will think about the evolution of ability some more time, as now my opponent had upped his offensive and I have to counter. Clank. His morning star again crashed against my sword, but this time it was especially heavy that my sword nearly left my. If not for me predicting the strength of his attack, my sword would have definitely flown away from my hand. Clank clank clank. Quickly controlling my shaking body, I started to respond to its powerful attacks. The first few minuets I was barely able to defend myself, as they are not only very powerful, they also came with the powerful freezing force, so not only I have to deal with the powerful physical impact of the morning star, I also burn off the coldness that came with. I have a hard time a couple of minuets, but as I got used to, the pressure started decreasing. I even started to get the slight upper hand in the battle. This is the beauty of the killing rule. It is the best rule for killing, as it involves in every aspect of killing, and the longer the fight lasts the more advantageous it is going to be for me. Slice. I finally able to land a blow of him, though it was minor. It is still great, as after this, I will keep giving him blow after blow. Slice slice slice. First, the injuries he receives from were quite light, but with passing time, they kept getting bigger and bigger till all of its body filled with injuries, and many of them were serious, and if not for this opponent too resilient and kept dodging the fatal blow nick of the time, this fight would have ended already. Still, I kept attacking him, making his injuries heavier and launching fatal attacks now and then. The injuries on its body kept getting bloodier and bloodier until my opponent completely turns into a bloody man. Crack crack crack, shatter. I was about to launch another attack at him to make it more injured when suddenly cracks started spreading on its body before shattering into pieces and then disappearing. Chapter 412 Tree. Its body had been completely shattered and then disappeared like smoke. The third opponent will appear soon. I wonder how strong it will be and how much the difference of power between it and second opponent. Last time when I attempted the challenge, it did not take me much effort to clear the first challenge, but the second challenge was very difficult. I was not even able to put up offensive, only defended and get back outside crystal after I was cleaved by its axe. I have heard from my teammates how hard this challenge is, but I still want to experience it myself. Star Elite. I said out loud when I saw my opponent appear. It is a grim race monster from the common black bearman tribe, but what makes it different is the silver star mark on his forehead. There is one silver star that could be seen painted on his forehead in a very eye-catching manner. It is said that for the grim race this mark represents both prestige and power. What is front me? Single star elite of black bearman tribe. The elite I've fought till now were all fake elites, but what is front of me is real single star elite. This is star mark only bestowed on them after they prove their power in their tribe. There are 9 types of star elites in the tribes of the grim battlefield. They are 1 star to 9 star elites, and difference of strength between each star is immense. That is why in the outpost, only up to 3 star elites are found. As for star elites above them, they could only be found in the mid-zone and the war zone. This 1 star elite black bearman tribe is less than 2 meters tall, which is very small compared to the above 3 meters tall grim race monster we fought every day. Looks like what team leader said really true, that in low-level hunting ground only most hopeless grim race monsters are found. They are sent there just to fill the numbers and in the hope that some prodigy would come out of it. It had a ferocious expression on its face as it lightly swung his warhammer around as it looked at me. Third challenge will initiate in 3 seconds. A monotonous voice rang out again. The countdown started and I became ready to face this fierce opponent. I may not able to last much in front of it, but I still wish to exchange couple of moves with it. Battle. I just about to launch an attack when I found that a 1 star elite grim race monster had already appeared in front of me and swung its warhammer at me. Bang! I hastily put my sword in front of me as a defense, but just as the warhammer touched it, it flew away from my hand and the warhammer directly crashed on my head. I felt immense pain for the moment before I lost my consciousness, and when I opened my eyes, I found myself sitting back on the circle. They were really right. The third challenge is really difficult, except Emma. No one in our team has been able to resist more than 1 move of it. even Richie, who after experiencing its the first attack had surrendered on his own. I will have to work very hard if I want to clear the third challenge. I now only had 25 days. In the 25 days I have to become strong enough to clear the third challenge, as only then will I be eligible to enter the Ephirian Ruin. In the 4 days since the news of Ephirian Ruin is out, I've read many things about it online, and those things were enough to excite me, and now I want to enter no matter what. After calming myself, I get out of the door with a big smile. With second challenge cleared, there nothing that could stop us from going to treasure hunting. As for Reina, who last to remain for guild challenge, I am not worried about her. If Sophia's able to clear the challenge, then she will to able to clear it. Without asking, I started to explain how my fight went, especially my third opponent. You lucky bastard. Last time you have come across special Grim Race Monster, and this time your opponent was 1-star Grim Race Monster. Your luck is really good. If not for you took the beating both times, otherwise I would have beaten that luck out of you, said Sophia, to which everyone laughed, including me. Good luck, said everyone as Reina silently walked to the door. She is the last one in our team, and our treasure hunting depends on her slowly. Despite knowing there is a 100% chance that she will clear the second challenge, I couldn't help but worried. Not only me, her twin sister Sophia, who knew her best, also a little worried, as she is messaging her hands in the nervousness. Time passed exhaustingly slow speed as we all kept eye on the door. Even those who came after us to take the challenge had become silent, seeing a solemn atmosphere between us. 6 minutes passed by, but Sophia did not come out, seeing that we became very worried. Click. Finally, we heard the clicking sound of the door. 2 minutes later, Reina had taken 8 minutes total to complete the challenge, and when she came out there was a bright smile on her face. It was my first time seeing Reina smile so bright. Most of the time she had a smile, she just let out a very smile, but this smile is megawatt. What happened? Asked Sophia, seeing her sister smiling very brightly, as she perfectly knows how rare for her sister to let out such a big smile. My second challenger was from Special Grim Race Monster Tribe, Reina said, and all of us shocked. She had fought the Special Grim Race Monster Tribesmen and won it. This is really amazing compared to me, who had just taken the beating. Since all of us cleared the second challenge, let us inform the team leader, said Richie. We all nodded, and after taking snapshots of our guild profile, which is showing we had cleared the second, we sent to team leader. His reply came just a few seconds later, saying congratulations and meet him at dawn tomorrow in guild. Let's go now. As I promised, I will treat you guys a dinner in the best restaurant, said Emma, hearing that our mood brightened even more and we get out of the guild. The restaurant that Emma chose to give is one of the top 100 restaurants in the Fort Cavendish. It is very difficult to get the table there, but Emma still managed to get it somehow. The food of this restaurant said to very delicious, and they have a special eating room for the monsters where they can eat. Be good, I said to Ashlyn, as I know how short her temper is, and seeing how others' monster levels are higher than her. They may try to intimidate her, and if their intimidation got over the limit and she became irritated, then she may use rule power and anger, which I don't think any monsters here have the power to handle. Chapter 413 Scare. Shit, I said inside my mind as I sensed Ashlyn's very irritated mood, and before I could sense what happened, she had blocked our mental connection on her end. We had just finished having an amazing dinner and were walking toward the room where monsters are eating when I sensed her immense irritation. Millet, Jonah, everyone suddenly screamed their monster names and ran toward the room where monsters are eating hurriedly. She really did it, I thought mirthlessly as I followed behind them, hoping that she must have not gone overboard, otherwise it will be quite difficult for me to face my teammates. Bang! Calm down, calm down. We banged open the door only to see monsters are huddled in the corner with fear on their faces, while the server who is assigned to their room is trying to calm them. Ashlyn on the other side eating quietly without care for the scared monsters. Just as the monsters saw their partners enter the room, hope kindled their scared eyes as they leaped toward their partners. What happened? Everyone asked the server in unison, who was trying to calm the scared monsters. I don't know, I went out to bring them more dishes, but I came back, all of them were huddled in corner scared, except for that one, said server while pointing toward Ashlyn, who was eating calmly. Millet, tell me what happened, who hurt you? Asked Sophia to her Inferno tiger, who is just a young cub. Not only her, everyone started to ask their monsters what happened. Woo woo. Everyone monster burst into crying hearing that question from their partners and motioned toward Ashlyn scarily while trying their all to explain what happened. I am really sorry, Ashlyn had picked up some bad habits, she easily get angry at the slight provocation. I apologized as I picked Ashlyn off the ground. All of them looked me weirdly as if thinking how could a little mutated gray spark sparrow scare their monsters so bad that they didn't even dare to look at her. They did not dare to believe that little sparrow who weakest of them all could scare their monster this much, but after repeated questioning their monsters, they had to accept that. According to them, they were just teasing little sparrow since she's smallest and weakest of them all, but all of a sudden this sparrow became very dangerous that they got very scared of her. I heaved a sigh of relief hearing that. It's a good thing she didn't do any physical attack, just used the killing rule to scare the shit out of the monsters who irritated her. Ashlyn, what you did is bad, apologize to them, I said to Ashlyn, I really pity these monsters, they must have irritated her quite a bit to act like this, and what she did is bad after all. Choo 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 choo. Ashlyn furiously started chirping, saying it is not her mistake as they irritated her first. Ashlyn apologizes to them quickly, otherwise I will not give any snacks for a week, I said sternly, what she did was bad and she had to apologize for it. Choo choo choo. Ashlyn chirped softly, apologizing in her way. Good girl, I said as I petted her. When I looked at my friends, I found them still looking weirdly at Ashlyn and me. I again apologized deeply for her behavior, I said, and took out few packets of snacks from my storage. Here, take these snacks for compensation for her behavior, I said, and handed the monster snacks. These snacks are very expensive and quite popular amongst the monster. Seeing the packets of snacks, all the monsters became happy and started to eat with happy eyes. We left the restaurant after the mood of the monsters returned to normal and took hovercar toward our apartments. You are hiding more secrets than I expected, said Sophia. Since our apartments are very close, we had decided to share a car so can discuss tomorrow. We shared all the information we know about the mid-level hunting ground, and I have to say these two girls know a lot of things. What secrets? I don't have any secrets, unlike you guys, I said, denying everything while accusing them. Tush, she said, we all our own secret and not every secrets have to be known, like the strength that these two girls are hiding and how I didn't want anyone to know about Ashlyn to have rule powers. The next 2 days going to be interesting, said Sophia. I nodded. We are going to enter the mid-level hunting for treasure hunting. It is going to be dangerous but also very challenging. Even if we didn't find anything, the trip to mid-level hunting ground itself going to be very rewarding, as there we will be going face our strongest challenges, and if we are able to overcome, then there will be an obvious rise in our strength which will help tremendously on our way to beat the third challenge. I can still remember how powerful the blow of that 1-star elite was. If I want to beat the opponent of such strength in just 15 days, then I will have to train very very hard. See you tomorrow, I said to them as hovercar stopped in front of their apartment and they got out of the car. Yeah, see you tomorrow, said both sisters together. A few minutes later the hovercar stopped in front of my apartment. In my apartment, I silently sat on the sofa and looked at the things of the list I made which we'll need for tomorrow's adventure. On this list, most important, these potions. I have spent a fortune buying these potions, but they will worth it as they are very good at rapidly healing the injuries. Not only potions, I brought many other things that will be useful tomorrow. After seeing I missed nothing, I closed the window of my holowatch and activated the temperature room to practice supreme combat exercise and body cleansing technique. I have already created the 27th seal of supreme combat exercise, so there won't be a new seal very soon, but there will be big progress in the body cleansing exercise in a few days. I have had already on the 32nd pose of body cleansing technique, and in 3 to 4 days, I should be able to reach 36th pose, from which my body will go through the third cleansing. This time, I had adjusted the poison to 15%, it will be very painful and a little dangerous, but I have to take this risk. To level up to the peak level sergeant stage, I will need to feed immense energy to the energy of miracle fruit, only then I will the chance to level up within 25 days. After adjusting the dose of the poison, I started to perform the body cleansing technique and supreme combat exercise. It is very painful due to a 15% poison dose, but I endured the pain and kept performing, and by the time I am done, I was able to make some progress in both. An hour later, after finishing my practice, I took a shower and slept right after that. Before sleeping, the last thought on my mind was tomorrow's treasure hunt. Chapter 4:14 Treasure Hunt Star. Since all of you have arrived, I'll tell you about a place where we are going, said team leader after Ben arrived. At last, we have been sitting in the conference room that has been allocated to our team. The map leads to Kasserok, which is mid-level hunting ground, and by my estimation, it will take us 2 days to get there. We will spend the night in there as you guys will fight the grim race monsters that we come across in our way to the destination in the map. So it is Kasserok hunting ground. Well, I am not surprised, as there are only 3 mid-level hunting grounds round around Forbidden Ground, and Kasserok is one of them. Kasserok could say to be one of lowest ranking mid-level hunting ground, but it is still as mid-level hunting grounds, and grim race monsters that would be there were more powerful that we fought till now in the low-level hunting ground. Normally spending the night in the mid-level area is extremely dangerous, especially for us rookies, but since team leader with us, we won't have to worry about getting too much in trouble. As you know, this will be the last 2 days I will mentor you, so these 2 days you guys will be training more than ever, and I will only help you when the strong monsters come. But the other monsters you will have to fight yourself, and if you guys fail to defeat even normal monsters of mid-level hunting ground, then you will have to forget about me taking you to the map's destination, said the team leader, but this time his voice is more firm. Hearing what he said, we all struck dumb. We all thought since we had cleared the guild challenge, the team leader will sure take us for treasure hunt, but now there is another challenge. On the way to the treasure hunt, we now will have to fight and defeat every grim monster group that team leader throws at us. These 2 days going to be the most difficult 2 days of training. So, what do you say? If you don't want to go there, then you can tell me. I have had another good place in my mind for your training, asked team leader. We all want to go for treasure hunting, right guys? Sophia asked, and we all nodded immediately. No matter how difficult the treasure hunt going to be, we want to go for it, as we all very curious and excited about it. As for the difficult fights, we will have to fight them with our all and ready to accept them, as we all know that as long as something very threatening comes across us, the team leader will be there to save us from it. Since you guys have decided you should buy what you guys need for 2 days training from the guild store, you guys have 1 hour, said team leader. All of us nodded and went toward the guild store. I don't need anything, but I still went to the store to see if I forget anything by accident. Soon an hour had passed and all of my teammates had finished with the shopping the stuff they need for 2 days adventure. Let's go, said team leader as he took the jump in the air. We smiled and followed behind him. The route we took today is the same as we are taking for the past 4 days. If we want to quickly reach the Kasserok, then we have to take the route of the Forbidden Ground, as that is the shortest route to reach the Kasserok hunting ground. With our swift speed, we soon reached the place where killed those grim race monster from the purple-striped Tigerman race and found the map in their leader's storage. Those purple-stripped Tigerman must have been going for the treasure hunt, as this way is the shortest route to reach the Kasserok hunting ground. Time passed by as we traveled toward the Kasserok. On the way we have found very few monsters. That is understandable, as we are taking the route around the Forbidden Ground. Despite being safe, very few people dare to go around it. Get ready, in half an hour we will reach the boundary of the Kasserok, said team leader, and we all nodded and readied ourselves to fight with the grim race monsters. 15 more minutes passed and we had come across 2 small teams of the grim race monster, but before we could blink, all of them killed by the darts released by the team leader. I don't understand why the team leader uses darts. If he wants to, he could simply kill the monsters by releasing bolts of lightning from his fingers, and grim race monsters would easily be turned to dust just like they did with his darts, but for some reason, he does not do that. As we got closer to the Kasserok hunting ground, we came across more and more grim race monsters, but all their grim race monsters in a small team of 2s and 3s. We did not come across any grim monster team which have more than 4 members in a team, but the thing is, each and every one monster that we have encountered was elite of Colonel stage. They were not only elite Colonel stage, but they also boosted stronger power than the Colonel stage we have faced in low-level hunting ground, and the thing is, we have not actually entered the hunting ground. If we have encountered such a powerful grim race monster outside, I wonder how strong would be those we will encounter inside the Kasserok. Do not compare to strength of grim race monsters here to those you have fought in the low-level hunting ground. the Grim race monsters you will fight here will be at 3 times stronger than their counterparts in the low-level hunting ground. Team leader advised. Except for me, everyone was surprised hearing this. I had already known about this earlier as I had sensed their battle power and was quite shocked for a while. I have read that despite being at the same level, monster in the mid-level hunting ground are stronger than that of off low-level hunting ground, but I thought they would twice it stronger, not expected they would be 3 times stronger at least. Team leader, then go easy on us. Sophia requested after hearing from the team leader that every opponent 3 times stronger than those at the low-level hunting ground. To Sophia's request, the team leader only gave a smile and did not say anything. I don't think team leader would show any mercy. He will make us fight an opponent that will make us challenge our limit. Sometime leaders, we finally entered the Kasserok, and atmosphere between us turned serious and we started to encounter bigger and stronger teams. This time team leader stops doing a thing that he kept doing till now since he started mentoring us that shocked all of us. After entering the Kasserok hunting ground, the team leader immediately restrained himself, which he never did till now. He would kill whatever Grim race monster we have come across, only sparing those who will fight us, but after entering Kasserok hunting ground, he stopped killing whatever Grim race monster we have come across. He would only kill those who attacked us and would spare the monsters if they ran away. Chapter 4:15 Tetrad Centipedman Tribe. Team leader, why are you sparing these monsters? Sophia asked, seeing team leader behavior. Hearing her question, the team leader's face turns very serious and stopped for a few seconds as if contemplating how to answer her question before answering her question. You all have to remember that there are many unspoken rules in the Grim battlefield that members of both races follow, said the team leader in a very serious voice. Low-level hunting ground is for trashes. If you do the wanton killing in them, there will be next to no repercussion, but it is different for mid-level and high-level hunting grounds for those whose strength surpasses these hunting ground like me, said team leader. If I do the wanton killing in the mid-level hunting, tomorrow someone powerful from the Grim race would do the same against us humans. You have to remember, these outposts and mid-zones are just the training grounds that produces soldiers on both sides, and their progress and numbers are strictly by the higher-ups of both races, the team leader said. We all shocked hearing this, as we all thought that battle with the Grim race start from outpost, but never have guessed that this just the training ground where both races sharpen their blades for the battle that happens in the war zones. And what is more shocking, that everything is run under the nose of the higher-ups of both races. I looked at Sophia and Reina to see if they knew anything about these details, but seeing their expression, I don't think they know. Looks like their brother didn't tell them everything about the Grim battlefield and left some things for them to discover themselves. You guys don't worry about all the things. The only thing you have to remember that after you reach the high-level strength, don't do any wanton killing. These things will be explained by the guild after you gain sufficient strength to know about this matter. Team leader said before turning silent. A few minutes later, instructors stopped suddenly, and with him stopping we also stopped, knowing that it is finally time for us to fight. There are 13 Grim race monsters ahead, all of them at elite colonel stage, said team leader. Team leader really did not show any mercy at us at all. I thought he would show at least a leader, but no, he didn't. It would have been no problem if we had this Grim monsters at low-level hunting ground. We would have finished them within 10 minutes, but here fighting them going to very difficult, as they are at least 3 times stronger than those at the low-level hunting ground. Oh, I forgot to tell you something, said team leader just we took the step to walk toward Grim race monsters. What? All of asked in unison, and our voice was a little louder and there is slight irritation that could be heard in it. That is because we know what team leader had to tell is not something good for us. The monster tribe you are going fight is little strong than other normal Grim race monster tribe, said team leader with a serious face, but we could clearly see the mirth in his eyes. The news is nothing good, as I had expected. Hearing that, I gripped my weapon even more strongly, thinking this battle is going to be strenuous. Tetrad Centipedman tribe, team leader really thought too highly of us to directly sent to fight Tetrad Centipedman tribe. They are one of the strongest and ugliest tribes amongst the average Grim race tribe. This tribe very difficult to deal with. Not only they have 4 eyes which gave them near omnivision, they also have the 4 hands which are really difficult to deal with, and poison which have a very numbing effect. There is another thing which I forgot to mention. they had a carapace that covered their hull which gave them quite good defense, so all in all these grim race monster tribes will be the most difficult opponent we would fight till now. Friends, delicious food, said one tetrad centipman tribesman who spotted us. Yes, 6 of them, said another as it looked all of who stepped by as inching toward them. Friends, let's finish them quickly so we could enjoy the delicious meal, said another. After that, all 13 tetrad centipman ran toward us while summoning their spirit totem. The spirit totem of these grim race monsters summoned is quite dense with energy, and fluctuation they emit also feels very dangerous. The grim race monsters in low-level hunting ground couldn't compare to them. We all ran toward them with summoning all our power. I had activated all my skills and merged both of my rule power into them, and I am using all my power. I and Ben ran towards the group of 2 monsters while Richie, Emma, and Sister ran toward group 3 monsters respectively. I and Ben going to fight for 2 monsters each while Emma, Richie, and Sister Sophia and Reina going to fight 3 monsters each. Bang! My enlarged shield crashed against the 8-sword attack that comes at me. Their fucking tetrad centipedman race has 4 hands compared to normal humanoid beings who have 2, which gave quite a big advantageous in battle. If not for them their hands being are not as flexible as other humanoid beings, their power could have easily compared to the special grim race tribes. Though their hands may not be as flexible and swift as other humanoid beings, they have 4 eyes that gave them near omni-view and 4 hands which help them launch 4 attacks at once, more than makes up for that weakness. Clank clank. My sword and shield clashed against their 8's arms, and with every clash, I would take a step back to manage the immense impact I am feeling in my arms and my body. If these 4 arms of these centipedmen were flexible and swift as other humanoids, then I would have been killed by 2 or 3 moves of these 2 tetrad centipedmen's attacks. The reason I am barely holding against then is because of my swiftness, otherwise defending against 8 attacks at the same time would have been near impossible. Strength-wise, 1 centipedman alone is a little stronger than the opponent I faced yesterday in my second challenge, and I am facing 2 monsters at once. The main reason why tetrad centipedman tribe is one difficult to deal with is their tight defense. One may fend off or dodge their attacks by swiftness, but if one wants to attack them, then it is very difficult. With near omnivision provided by their 4 eyes which can catch attack that came from any direction, and 4 hands which may be little but can still put up a layered defense against any attack that comes in its way. And last but not least their poison, which had a strong numbing effect, and carapace covered body which provides a strong defense against any attack that landed its body. The combination of 4 elements makes these tetrad centipedman tribesmen one of the hardest deal within the normal grim race tribes. Chapter 416 Tetrad Centipedman Tribe 2. As I was fighting the 2 centipedmen, I saw a faint light from the corner of my eyes. It hadn't been 5 minutes since the fight had started, but my teammates had already started summoning their totem artifact. Well, I can't say anything about that, as if I had a totem artifact, I would have also summoned it to use against these centipedmen, as these fucking monsters are too difficult to deal with it. With their omnivision and 4 hands, it is very difficult to penetrate their defense, as it was easily stopped by one of their 4 hands. Still, we have to give our all, as getting defeated and running away isn't an option for us if we want to continue this treasure hunt. Clank clank. My sword's speed is very fast that one could barely discern with the eyes, but whenever it tried to penetrate in the range of my opponent, it was stopped by one of the hands of the grim race monster. They aren't able to injure me, but I wasn't able to injure them also. It feels very frustrating. It would have been fine if these 2 monsters had been little stronger and had given me few injuries. In that way, I would have been stimulated enough to circulate supreme combat exercise with all my efforts. When I tried to circulate the exercise, I wasn't able to move forward in it, as the battle is not giving me pressure enough. In this battle I have only felt little pressure in the first minute, but after that, there is no pressure. It is wrong for me to say there is no pressure on me, it's just there no pressure on me saying you finished me off first or I'll finish you. Since there is no supreme combat exercise, there is no sudden increase in the strength to defeat these 2 centipedmen. I will have to rely on patience and strategy. I really regretted only studying 1 mid-level night stage skill with all the time I have. I have only learned 1 mid-level night stage skill till now, and that is my strengthening skill, Giant's Strength. If I had studied more of them, I would have used them in this battle. it would have really helped me finish this fight early. Normally mid-level night stage skill could only be used after one level up to the master stage, but there is an exception to that rule, which is that if one has mana pure enough and it is powerful, transmuted, then they could use peak level of the sergeant stage. As for using midnight grade skill at mid-level of the sergeant stage, it is possible but condition applies are very strict, but I managed to satisfy all that. But problem is that I haven't studied any mid-level night skill except one. The mid-level night grade skills are a lot more complicated than the low-level night grade skill and need the study of one whole week before one can use them in battle. It had been 5 days since I had leveled up to the mid-level of the sergeant stage, and since then I had been studying the various skills whenever I have time. I want to master all the mid-level night grade skills I have before fighting the third challenge. It will be difficult, but I have confidence in myself that I will able to do it way before that. Clank. Yes. I said in my mind, though my blow was countered by the centipedman, it was still celebrating that it was countered by his second sword. After fighting these two centipedmen for 10 minutes, I have observed the way they respond and which hand of 4 they used first and how they used it. If I attacked it, it will first counter it with upper right hand of his. If it upper right hand missed my sword, then it will use upper left hand. As for which hand is used after his upper left hand missed, I don't know, as I wasn't able to go past its second hand. So my strategy is passed by the counter of 4 of its limbs defense attack its body, and for that, I have been trying different sword moves when attacking these two centipedmen. Winning the battle is not only depend on power, but it also depends on one's strategy and experience. I have always used these 3 elements when I fight, and mostly I depend on the power, but in this fight, I am using all 3 elements equally. In these 20 minutes of the fight, I have never used so many types of moves that I have never used in these 10 days, and this fight also made me realize that I have to learn new sword moves. Though the sword moves did not provide direct power-like skills and method, they do provide the creativity one needs while fighting, especially such battle where strength of fighters are equal. The first thing I am going to do is take the sword classes, as it had been the year since I learned something new in the sword, I thought. Since learning the basics, I thought I do not need to learn them anymore, as one can invent new moves for themselves if one's base is strong, but this fight taught me how wrong I was and how desperately I need to learn the new sword moves. Clank 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 clank. With every minute, I am getting better and better, and now I don't even have to take a step back to manage the impact of our attacks. I can just dissolve by moving my sword and body certain way. While I was fighting, I am also taking a look at other fights who are my bison, which is Ben and Richie, and they are not doing much better than me, especially Ben, who had summoned his totem artifact. As for Richie, he didn't summon it, but I am confident that he will soon. Clank clank clank. I finally able to make it use its third limp for the defense, and I am surprised to find which limb it uses after 2 failed the defense. It is bottom left. I thought he will use bottom right, but he used bottom left. This is a pattern of one centipedamam. I have to find another, as it used different limbs when I breached its 2 defenses. It will take some time to identify the complete battle pattern of the 2 centipedmen, but when I will do that, I will be able to finish the fight quickly. As I kept fighting, the 2 monsters have become quite vigilant, seeing how easily I have been able to avoid their 2 swords, and because of that both of the monsters have upped their offense. They now attacking me crazily, trying to give me fewer chances to attack them, but that is simply ridiculous on their part. As they upped their offense, I was more easily able to penetrate in their defense, and seeing that, they stopped defensive altogether and started to focus on the defense. If this grim race monster had just 2 eyes, it would have been quite easy to attack it, and by this time, I would have easily launched 10 some attacks on its body and even able to kill one of these centipedmen. As I was fighting, I sensed 2 more faint lights flashed by my eyes. So I couldn't take any more. I thought after seeing both Richie and Emma summoning their totem artifacts in a few minutes difference. Chapter 417 Tetrad Centipedman Tribe 3. Clank. I finally able to reach its 4th limb. If I am able to pass the defense of this last defense, then I will directly able to attack its body. It had been an hour since we started fighting these Tetrad Centipedman tribesmen, and not one of us was able to kill the centipedman till now. Fucking cockroaches. They just too hard to kill. Normally all of our battles ended winning in, or at least in the last stages, but here we have an only mid-stage of the fight and some aren't even reached that stage. that is me. From what I have seen, Richie had started to injure the monsters he is fighting, Emma also doing the same as they both have a similar level of strength. As for Ben, he is like me, still struggling to touch the body of his opponents, much less injure it. I would have loved to see how the sisters are doing but they are a little away from me, but I am sure they are doing better than mine. They fight in the team and very good at cracking the defenses of the monster, so I think they shall be doing better than me. Kess. Finally. I thought, my sword finally able to touch its skin, and it was only a scratch on its carapace, but it is enough. With the single attack on its body gave me all the information I needed, which made me both sad and happy. Happy because my sword finally touched its body, which made me know what I have to do next, and sad because it's extremely difficult to pierce its carapace. If I want to injure it heavily and even kill it, then I will have to use all my strength just to pierce the sword through its body, in which my sword did not have come across any barriers which will be made it lose some its power. This is a quite hard attack to perform. It was a good thing I had already thought of such a scenario and had devised the strategy for it, and that is to attack its joints. The carapace covering it may seem perfect, but there are many gaps between the joints, and I will have to several of their joints with lethal attacks, and with few perfect attacks on the joints, they will become weak enough that I will be able to kill them easily. But it is not easy to attack their joints. These centipedemen have the intelligence similar to us, and they also clearly know their joints are one of their biggest weaknesses. That is why they have war protective artifacts on their joints and always became very vigilant when see something going toward their joints. That is why the timing of my attacks has to be perfect. With the plan in my mind, I started to attack them. I want my first attack to very lethal, as after the first attack they will become very cautious and it will become very hard for me to kill them. Clank clank clank. Our weapons clashed one after another, and in that time I had made time attacked the bodies of the two centipedmen's bodies, but my attacks never able to pierce its carapace. Time passed by as we kept fighting, as with the passing time my intuition became strong that I started to find chances to attack every minute, but they were all small changes. I have had never come across a big chance that will aid launch unimpeded attack at its joint. Chance. I said as I come across the biggest chance, and without a second thought, I launched the attack. My sword is very fast and swift, that when the grim monster saw my sword attacking its range, it tried to stop me using 4 of its limbs, but its limbs were too slow. Pierce. My sword passed through the protective gear on its joint and pierced through it, and just as it pierced, I released the point inferno into its joint. Ah! It screamed loudly as the concentrated fire started to burn its joint. The joint I had selected is one of the most important ones. It is going which connected its upper right hand, which is its most important limb. With that upper right limb joint burn with fire inferno, that limb of it became pretty much useless for at least an hour, and I think it would be more than enough to kill these two monsters. Clank. I wanted to take advantage of it being in pain and attack its neck joint to finish it off, but I wasn't able to. Other centipedmen interrupted me. Earlier attack was at perfect timing. Not only other grim race monster little distance away to respond, but the grim monster I had attacked had also become little careless, which had given me perfect opportunity to launch an attack, which I successfully did. Die, you lowly animal! Screamed the centipedman that I had just attacked, and started to attack me crazily with its friend. Seeing its crazy behavior, I became very happy. I always prefer crazy opponents than the calmed ones. They are the most easier to deal with as they make a lot of mistakes in their fury. This lethal attack of mine made both of mad, and they started to attack me crazily while I calmly responded to their attack while charging my sword for point inferno. In the time I was charging my sword, I got many perfect chances to attack, but I did not take it as damage of the normal attack could be healed in few minutes, and it did not give much pain, but the attack of point inferno not only very lethal, it gives immense pain as well, is just a perfect attack. Pierce. Aha. 3 minutes after my first attack, I launched my second attack, and this one also hit hand joint. It's just that recipient of this attack other centipedmen. Now both of the grim monsters have suffered under the point inferno. So. While crazily attacking, both of monsters suddenly opened their mouth and shot the jets of poison at me. Seeing the jets of poison coming at me, I smiled. I have been waiting. I thought. I had learned my lesson about the poison when fighting against the Black Viperman tribe and very vigilant against it. Not only I had drunk the antidote of their poison when I saw them the first time, and I have even asked Ashlyn to cover my body with sunfire internally and externally so that that poison could not affect me. And as for why I am waiting for them to attack me poison because of this. Poochie. My sword directly pierced through the neck of the centipedman. It is studied that every poison-type Grim Race monster became quite confident when they released their poison attack, lose vigilance for a second when launching their attack, especially happened when the opponent is equal or weaker than them. Not all Grim Race monster is like these, especially the experienced ones. You Phil, the centipedman wanted to say something, but before it could say anything my sword appeared in front of it and its sentence cut in its mouth as it had to defend itself. Thud? With one centipedman killed, second one became quite easy to kill as another one is not present to obstruct me whenever I attack, so it took me little less than 5 minutes to kill the second monster, and it died in very wretched condition as I had attacked all of its joints first before piecing its neck and releasing Point Inferno in it. Chapter 418 Lord Stage. What a fight! I had fought these two centipedmen for about 2 hours and it made quite tired and would have sat on the ground if battles had been finished. Richie and Emma had finished their fights while Ben and twin sisters are left to finish it. From the way fight is going on, they should be able to finish the fight within the half an hour. Crackle crackle. The crackling sound out be heard from me as I am concentrating my all on the eliminate the poison that is present in the body. The poison of the Grim Race monster is really hard to burn. It must have been 5 minutes since both of the monsters had attacked me with the poison, but their poison still remains on me despite sunfire burning this poison constantly. It took me a few more minutes to burn off all the poison on me, and only then I took a sigh of relief. This poison is not much poisonous, but it had a strong numbing effect. Despite the protection of sunfire and antidote, I was very afraid of this poison as a slight effect of it could have made a major effect on the earlier battle. After I finished burning off all the poison, I took out 2 high-grade runic discs from my storage and placed them on the Grim Race monsters. I should be able to finish harvesting mana crystal before the battle is finished, I thought, but I was wrong as both of battles finished before I completed harvesting the mana crystals. Well done, you all have done a quite good job, said team leader as he appeared right after our battle is finished. We all became quite surprised after hearing his praise because it is very rare for him to praise us. Quickly harvest the mana crystal, we have quite a journey ahead. He said, which brought the reaction from us. We are still quite tired from the battle we had just fought. Ting. Ting. 2 quite bells rang out of with few seconds difference as the 2 bodies of the centipedmen turned into the husk as runic discs finished mana crystals from them, and when I looked the mana crystal, I got quite happy. I got a total of 168 mana crystals from the 2 centipedmen, which is quite good for 2 kernel stage monsters. A few minutes later other are also harvested their mana crystal and we started our journey again. We fought our next battle just half an hour after we left the place after defeating the centipedman. This time also I had fought 2 kernel stage monster who was strong as the centipedman, it's just that they didn't have 4 hands and omnivision. We took more beating that we took in the fight against the centipedman, but we finished the battle quickly, just little more than an hour, which less than half the time we took to finish the centipedman off. After we finished our fight and harvested the mana crystal, the team leader asked us to move forward without giving us time to heal, saying we got to hurry if we want to arrive at our destination by tomorrow. The third group of monsters we fought was the strongest one, and to fight it I had to give my all. If we were at our best we would have had a little easy time, but we had just fought an hour ago and our injuries hadn't completely healed. In that battle, I had fought with the 3 elite kernel stage Grim Race monsters and they were little stronger the centipedmen. That is why when I finished my fight, I was in a very wretched condition, but that wasn't the end of the day. An hour hadn't passed when we had just fought our third battle and when we come across the 4th group of the Grim Race monsters. I thought team leader would show a little mercy and scare away these groups of monsters seeing how tired and injured we are, but no, he did not show mercy, instead he did the opposite. He had attracted the 5th group of Grim Race monsters by making a loud noise. The 4th group of the Grim Race monster was not particularly strong, its strength was equal to the 2nd group of the Grim Race monster we had fought. If we had been in our prime, we would have finished it off within an hour, but seeing the condition we were in, it took us little more than 2 hours or finished off the fight, and by that time, we were way more wretched that we had started. Team leader, look, it's dusk, can we finally rest now? Sophia said as she drank the potions. We had just finished the fight and now harvesting the mana crystals. The dusk has fallen and we quickly have to find a safe place to stay quickly, otherwise we will be attacked by the nocturnal grim race monsters. We will be staying here, said the team leader and walked toward the open area. As he reached the open area, he took out a small box, placed it on the ground and took a few steps back and tapped a few buttons on his holowatch. Just as he did that, the change started happening in the box as it kept getting bigger and bigger till it turned into the full-blown house that is big enough to house all of us. My first thought that the house is peak night grade abode type artifact, but I soon shook my head. I have seen many peak level night grade abode which is bigger than this, but they did not look like this house. This abode artifact is different. I don't know which grade of artifact this is, but it is definitely not peak night grade artifact. A lord grade artifact. Sophia muttered in amazement. A lord grade? I shouted in my mind. I have never expected team leader to have a lord grade artifact. Above night stage is lord stage, so the artifacts used by the evolvers of that stage is also named after the stage, just like night stage that we are in. The power stages above the night stage are completely different. Night stage is considered the basic stage and there are 12 substages within it which are further divided into 3 levels, but stages above night stage are not like that. They are stages which are divided 7 levels. After one level up all the 7 levels, one can level to the next stage, which is Duke stage. I don't know if it's true or not, but it is that true evolution start when one level up from the night stage. At that time one not only able to fly on his own, but one's age limit will also increase. I know about one able to fly at Lord stage as I've seen it in the memories of White Axe when I was comprehending the killing rule, but increase of age limit, I am not sure. I have just heard about it from many people, especially from the ones from the central continent whom I met in the awakening ground, but when I searched about this thing, I've got no result due to my access being too low. Come, we will be spending the night inside, said team leader as he walked inside the house and we followed behind him quickly. Chapter 419 The Gate. His abode is really good, it looked just like a house and not the artifact. It is even better than the house, it had all the necessities a house should have. Lord Great abode sure is amazing, said Sophia as we entered inside the abode, and we couldn't help but nod in appreciation as this abode is really amazing. After everyone entered the abode, the team leader started pressing a few buttons on the control panel of the abode and spherical light started to surround the abode fully like a defensive layer. Team leader, with this Lord Great abode of yours, we can definitely sleep without worries of being attacked in the middle of the night, said Ben as he watched the energy shide enveloping the house. Yes, we can sleep like a baby without worry, Sophia repeated. I also thought the same. With the Lord Great abode, we will not have to worry about any attack. Whatever attacks come will be defended by the defense of the abode. This a Lord Great abode, which means those below Lord stage would not have the power to harm those inside it. You guys still didn't understand the fearfulness of the grim battlefield. The team leader said while shaking his ruefully as if remembering something. The grim battlefield is more dangerous than you can imagine and no area is safe including the outpost that we live in, said team leader. You guys have not seen the real terror of the grim battlefield. The day you see it, you will never dare to lose the vigilance against it even a second. What he said made all of the silent and made us think for a few seconds. We understood the grim battlefield is dangerous, but its depth we aren't able to understand it as we haven't experienced it yet. You guys clean up and rest for an hour. After you are done with it we will make the plans for the dinner, said team leader and walked toward the numerous rooms in the abode. We all selected one room and walk inside it. Choo-choo. Ashlyn came out of me. I closed the door of the room I had selected and she came out. She started to demand the snacks that she usually does. After giving her packed snacks, I walked into the bathroom for the shower. My body is filled with the dirt and dried blood, some blood hadn't even dried. Though I am still quite injured, all the wounds on my body had been healed, so it is quite fine for me to take the shower without worrying about opening the after. After coming out shower, I gents dried my body and wore comfortable clothes and my artifacts top of them. I do not wear artifact after taking a night shower, even if I was out training, but words that the team leader said still ringing in my ears, which made me wear the artifact on me. After doing that, I drank a few more bottles of potions and laid on the bed quietly, going over the battle that I had fought today. Today is my first day in mid-level hunting ground, and it is quite an eye-opener. Every Grim Race monster we have encountered was elite and at least 3 times more powerful than its counterparts in the low-level hunting ground. Not only Grim Race monsters here are powerful than the low-level hunting ground, but they are also more experienced than the ones in the low-level hunting ground, and that is one of the reasons why we took more than an hour to finish each of our battles. Time passed and soon hour is over, seeing that I walked out of my room with Ashlyn toward the hall. When I reached the hall, I found Ben and team leader were already there. I just took a seat across them. Does anyone of you knows how to cook? Otherwise, I'll just eat the food that I had brought, asked team leader, and I was going to reply in a few seconds if no one does when Sophia chimed in. Michael is quite a good cook, said Sophia, and everybody looked me. I cursed Sophia's loudmouth in my heart. I was planning to wait it out and only going to cook when everyone said no, but now with Sophia speaking, I have no option but to cook. So, what do you guys want to eat? I asked. I have all the ingredients needed for the common dishes. As long as the dish is not uncommon, I will have its ingredients and able to cook it. Everyone started to voice the dishes they wanted to eat, and it had become quite chaotic that it took us 15 minutes just to decide what we were going to eat. The dishes we selected quite simple, but to cook for these many people and their monsters would have been quite a straining, but my luck is good that Reina and Richie offered to help. With the help of Richie and Reina, I didn't have done much except for cook, as all the other things were done by them. The dinner is finished within 1.5 hours, and we all ate on the big dining table in the kitchen till our stomachs are full. With 3 of them cooking dinner, we 3 will do the night's watch, said team leader, and No is surprised by the team leader's idea of night's watch. Sophia, you will take the first shift of 3 hours, second will be taken by Emma, and I will take the third. Do you guys have a problem with it? Asked team leader, to which both Emma and Sophia shook their heads saying they have no problem. After saying goodnight, I went to my room and laid on the bed. As for doing supreme combat exercise and body cleansing techniques, there are no questions about not doing it. It is a very dangerous place, and performing those techniques would be idiotic, especially body cleansing technique, which left 1 week for hours. So, there is no question of doing them today, and another thing is I am quite tired and just want to sleep. I fell into sleep within seconds, and when I woke up, it was the next day. I found it as dawn, and seeing that, I felt quite relieved, seeing no accidents happen during the night. When I come out of my room, I found everyone is out except for Emma were in the hall, and she came out a few minutes later. We ate the last night leftovers and get out of abode, only to find 30-some Grim Race monsters outside. It would have been quite a dreadful thing if team leader not had been with us, but with him being us, we don't have to worries about these 30-something Grim Race monsters. When team leader deactivated abode, all the Grim Race monsters leaped at us, but when they were halfway, team leader simply waved his hand and 10s of tiny bolts of lightning come out of his hand and stuck the Grim Race monster, which made them stopped on their tracks, and next second, they took U-turn and ran away fast as they can. The team leader said that if we continued in yesterday's speed, we will reach the map destination and by afternoon, and we did reach our destination by afternoon. On the way, we had fought 3 groups of Grim Race monsters who were powerful as yesterday's monsters we had fought, but this time we took half a time to finish them than yesterday and weren't injured as injured yesterday. Is this the place? Emma asked. As we stood near the small ravine which is densely packed with shrubs. Yes, it is, said team leader as he entered ravine, and we followed behind him in the rave. We kept clearing the shrubs in the ravine as we moved toward the mark on the map with an excited heartbeat. We have been waiting for this moment for days, and now we finally there. Crackle. The team leader again released lightning and burned the shrubs to dusk and revealed what's behind it. A cave, all of us said in unison. This is the last mark on the map. It is a small cave in which only one could pass at the time. Should we go in? I asked Ben. Obviously, said Sophia, and about take a step into the cave when stopped by the team leader. There may be danger inside. I'll go first, said the team leader. We all nodded. Since the team leader is strongest in us, it is right for him to go first. Follow closely behind and be ready for any scenario, said the team leader and took the step inside it. Just as he took the step, he stopped on his tracks and huge gasp come out of our mouth. Gasp? We cannot believe the scene happened in front of us, as we have never expected something like this to happen when we started this treasure hunt. Holy Mother of God! Just as the team leader took the step inside the cave, the map in hand started to glow brightly. Not only it, the mouth of the cave also started to glow brightly with silvery ruins shining on it. As the ruin got brighter, the map in the team leader's hand flew out and merged into the glowing ruins. For some time, the runes kept glowing and glowing, but soon changes started happening to it and they started transforming, and soon the runes formed the silvery runic gate of adult human size. Chapter 423 Tests. What is this gate? Emma asked in a soft voice. What happened in the past minute is like a walk in the fantasy. When I saw the cave first time, I thought it was just the normal cave and the maximum danger we will encounter in it will be traps and some monsters, but we have never expected for something like this to happen. The gate in front of me about 2 meters tall, and it looks like the simple door we have in our home. The only difference between the door front of me and the one in the house is that this door is made of silvery ruins. The door may be a simple design, but it still looked exquisite. Team leader, what do you think of this runic door? I asked, now that this door had appeared, and now we have to think about what to do about it, as it will not going to stay open forever. It is now time to decide whether to go inside or not. I had already decided that I will be going inside, but before that, I want to ask the team leader if he knows anything or not, so I could be better prepared. No, I've never heard about it. The team leader said, which disappointed me quite a bit, as I wanted to have a basic idea of what I am getting into. I don't know what this runic gate is, but one thing I can tell you, that the runes flashing on it are human ruins and not the ones used by the Grimm race, said team leader, which instantly made me little relax. Though the gate having human ruins does not mean it is made by us humans, as I've heard that we can also use Grimm race ruins as long as we reach the high mastery of the human runes. If humans can use the Grimm race monsters' ruins, then Grimm race monsters could also use our runes, and this gate may very well be made by Grimm race, but it could also be made by humans, which have the highest chances. Suddenly, the bright runes on the gate started to dim. Though the speed of dimming is low, it's still dimming, which means it is decision time. I am going in, you guys should make your decision quick, said the team as he walked into the gate. I am also going, I said, and walked into the gate right behind him. The light on the gate was dimming and I didn't want to waste any time lest it disappear suddenly. Everything in front of turned dark for a second, and when I opened my eyes again, I found I am standing on the circular white disc and everything around me is very dark. The circular disc I am standing on is about 1 meter in diameter and there is nothing around it. Gasp! As I was looking around, I noticed something which made me gasp in astonishment and also very scared. I found I am wearing very simple white cloths that are not mine, and all the things I was wearing were gone, my artifacts, storage, holowatch, everything, but that is not made scared and astonished. What made me scared and astonished is that I can't feel my connection with the Ashlyn. It's like our connections had completely disappeared, as it had never been there. When taking the guild challenge, I had felt quite similar to this, but that time my connection with Ashlyn was still present. Though I could not contact her or summon her, I knew she is with me, but here there is nothing. It's like she had just disappeared. That has really scared the shit out of me, and I was nearly going mad with worry, but I forcefully calmed myself and started to think about the condition I am in. The more I started to think, the more I understood that what I am experiencing is not real or not material. It's just like the crystal in guild challenge. It's just that whatever the thing is, it is more advanced than the crystal used in guild challenge, as it had able to isolate my connection with Ashlyn. With that thought, I calmly sat on the circular silvery disc and waited. My wait turned fruitful, as a few seconds later, I got the response that I had been waiting desperately. Welcome, lucky one, I am Sylvia Morningstar. Before leaving, I have left some chances across the world for the future generation, and you are lucky enough come across one of the chances I've left behind. For that I congratulate you, said the ethereal voice. Leaving? Is she dead, or she meant something else, I thought. I did not much understand what the ethereal voice said, but two things I clearly understood: that this voice is from a very powerful figure, and this figure had left the chances for the future generation, and this made me really, really happy. I have left these chances, but to gain these chances you will have to pass 3 tests of mine. Are you willing, lucky one? The ethereal voice asked. Yes, I am willing, I said right away. Are you kidding me? Just with the hope of getting a chance, I had taken the steps inside that runic gate without knowing its dangerousness, and now you are asking me I am willing or not. To the practitioner of magic, 3 things are absolutely necessary. They are will, perseverance and strength, said the ethereal voice. I wanted to disagree, saying that strength is most important than the will and perseverance, but I stopped myself, thinking it is a bad choice to contradict such a powerful figure who said she had left, but she still somehow talking to me. Strength is the least important of 3. As long as one has a strong will have and perseverance, strength will come naturally. The ethereal voice said as she if reading my mind. The first test is a test of will. Only those who have will strong enough to shoulder the world will have the power to reach the apex. The test of will start in minutes, and what you have to do is endure it without feigning. The more you endure, the greater your rewards would be, and if you are able to break your limit, then you might even receive some expected benefits, said the ethereal voice with a small laugh. Endure? Is it going to bombard me with the pain? I hope it is pain. If it's turned out to be a pain, then it's really good, as I am confident about my pain tolerance. I have experienced it too many times, I thought. I sat calmly as I waited for the test to start, very much hoping it is pain that I will have to endure. Ting. Second passed by, and when 1 minute is over, I heard soft chime, but to my surprise, no pain came, which I had been waiting for. A few seconds passed, and I jokingly thought that it is the silence that I will have to endure, when suddenly an indescribable feeling washed over me, which shook me from my core and scared me from the bottom of my soul so much that I am not even able to twitch my finger.